Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday night edition of everybody's favorite M-rated podcast. This is Gaming After Dark. We suggest that if you have kids close by, perhaps you put them in the bedroom because, we have a lot of discussions.
Can
And
be better. Can
yeah,
Walmart.ca
what the
offer express pickup or delivery in 2 hours? You better
what
believe
the
it.
hell?
Shop your
I think it's my video playing on the other side. Anyway, I don't want to hear a Walmart commercial.
By the way,
it's not my video.
if anybody's unclear, the M in this case stands for masturbate during. Okay, we expect you all to. Oh no, that's not it. Oh, well.
Yeah, we don't need to hear that. We don't need to pick up the background sound.
It's better that your video was playing in the background than my video. So
Yeah,
no, we can only imagine what yours has been.
there's
So anyway,
only
guys,
2 dogs this time.
Welcome to Gaming After Dark. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom. It's Snoof Nukem in the room, as always, back with my regular cast of characters, minus Sir X-Man, who, if you didn't know last week, can no longer be with us due to scheduling and stuff. We want to wish Sir X-Man the best. He was with us for a short time, but he was a lot of fun on the show, and we will see him around the podcast scene, and he will make a guest appearance from time to time. Just he won't be here on a regular. Speaking of, he's in the chat. Sir X-Man, there he is right now. He's at work, as I told you guys. So there you go. But anyway, let's introduce our panel. If you're not acquainted already, it's the one, the only, the Wize Old Gamer.
I say we change this from Sir X-Man to Sir Pussy Man. He just was being a little baby, little bitch about not coming. I'm gonna need my freaking sleep. You don't need any fucking beauty sleep. Have you seen your goddamn self in the mirror? I've seen you, and there's no improving that shit. Okay, so get your ass back on the show and stop being a whiny little bitch, Sir Pussy Man.
He's too old for sleep at this point. What does he need that for? All right, speaking of old, let's bring in Cerebral Paul.
It's not that he needs his sleep. The nurses, they tied him down. He can't get to the stuff anymore. It's like, whatever, Yeah. The doctor said, look, he can't be out of his room all the time. They put him in his padded room and it's all good, his padded diapers and the whole bit,
Yeah, I heard he's getting senile. So instead of rubbing his bald head, he's rubbing his other bald head, probably in public. So,
Ask for the sponge bath. It's always
and writing his name on the walls in feces was just that was So here we are. So we're gonna talk about stuff. We don't know what. Nuke didn't tell us what the topics are tonight, so who the hell knows?
Did you not read our
Talking
thing?
about-
Will superhero games survive on name alone? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 mixed reviews and a little bit more. Plus, we're also announcing our special guest. We're going to announce our newest panel member before the end of the show, and we're going to announce our special guest here in just a moment. We do have some super chats coming in. The first one comes in from the one and only Doggy Dog 420, who drops the first money of the night, $1.99. Go ahead, Wog. You can read it out.
God is live. Woo! Hit that like button.
That's right. Hit that like button. Hit that share, guys. Let's get this rolling. Love to see 100 up in here. This is our Halloween show.
Yeah, for Doggy Dog, you guys are gonna have to do that stuff because I can't do the woo thing.
I thought you were going to talk about techniques of masturbation. Like at this age.
If you want me to, I have a instructional video I can send you. Yeah.
Oh, send it. Most definitely send it. Definitely send it.
Paul's comes with a little instruction booklet of accessibility options.
That's it. That's absolutely right.
And we got another $2 coming in from the one and only Sir X-Man. Read that one out nice and loud. He puts it all in caps.
Assholes.
By the way, you'll notice he wasn't calling us that. That's what he's hoping to see. That's what he wants.
Well, ask and you shall receive. Let me go get my camera.
Well, yeah, you're already showing yours on the camera. By the way, you need to turn that shit off.
And our latest guest making a first-time appearance, I do believe, on Gaming After Dark, a man who often kicks my ass in a game of Halo Infinite. It's Mr. Bushido and 7. What's going on, brother?
I don't know about all that, but I do what I can do whenever I can do it. I just do it good. But what's going down, Loof? Mr. Wize Old Gamer, Cerebral Paul.
Why does your avatar
Mr.
look
Bushido,
like?
I think it's been a while since you shot me in the face and the back and the leg and the arm and just shot me in general
And
a
just
lot.
like that,
That's
he
why I
shot
don't
his
play
load too
Halo.
early, and he is gone.
Holy crap!
Why?
And he's gone.
I had
And
a
he's
question. I had a legitimate question. Why does his avatar show him having an erect penis? I don't understand. He had 2 erect penises at that. Like, I want
All
to
right,
know
let's
why
put him
his
back in the
logo
room.
had
Here we
that.
go.
I'm back.
You're
That
back.
was my fault.
Why does your avatar show 2 erect penises? Like you exposing 2 erect penises?
I never thought of it that way.
I mean, you know,
It
I'm
would
not
take you to do
complaining,
that, to think of that too.
Oh well, you know you're on Gaming After Dark when a samurai sword has now been associated with an erect penis.
Exactly. Hey, I still say I would have loved to name this show myself. If I would name this show, it would be New Fat Night.
New Fat Night. How
Nope
about
at
that?
night. Yeah.
Hey, look, in the 18 years I've been married, I've seen a samurai sword or 2, but I'm not seeing an erect penis. So I'm happy I'm seeing that at least now.
Well,
Well,
at
you're
least
talking
we hope
about
your wife has
yourself
seen one.
also. Well, where'd the kids come from, dude? Are they like,
I don't. Hell if I know. I don't know where they came
He
from.
he is
But
a
I ain't
turkey baster,
complaining.
Paul.
No, look, I told her, I said,
Well,
yeah, do
in
what you
his
need to
case,
do.
it was one of those eyedroppers. There wasn't no turkey baster. What's it?
No, I do what I do. She does what she has to do. And hey, I ain't complaining. They look better than I do. So shit, she made a good choice. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't look like you. So are you sure? I mean, I'm just saying,
Hey, if they look like me, I wouldn't pay for the shit. I mean, if somebody looks like somebody else, I might pay for it.
Let's catch up with the chat real quick. As I said, our good friend Doggy Dog 420 is in the house. Draven Arrow hanging out with us. Talos Ray is in the building. What is going on, brother? Spider-Man 356 always swinging in on time. We got his Timmy. Timmy's here. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. My good friend from Canada, Dizzy Delta's in the house. Casket Repair here as well. We've got who else we got going? John 907 swinging into the chat. Good to see you here, John 907. We got Mr. Mike Mullis from the original Next Level Gaming. They still have a podcast on the go on the other side. So if you guys get a chance to check them out, please do so. They had to move their podcast from Thursday nights over to Tuesday nights. I do apologize for the overlap, but unfortunately, with all the podcasts these days, somebody is going to overlap somebody, and that's just all we can do about that. We got the one and only. I'm going to let Cerebral Paul do the honors. You know who it is.
Joe Dunmore, welcome to the show. Good to see you again.
Always on time. We got Rico Dennis. What's going on, Rico? Good to see you in the building. As we said, Sir X-Man in the house as well. Jay the Destroyer, what's happening? And let's get down here. I think we caught just about up. Crazy Greek dude. Good buddy Dreadpool is hanging out with us. So
well, Dreadpool may get himself banned if he keeps throwing out that pineapple crap. I'm telling you that right now. You can ask Luke. I timed out somebody last night for that same crap. I got a witness here. Yeah.
A pineapple in the right orifice feels pretty good.
I'll stick a pineapple. Oh, never mind.
All right, gents.
I'll take your word for that one.
Potatoes, obviously, because we got to try to keep the show on time. First of all, the first title is kind of to deal with some of the recent superhero games. And while we've had some hits, we've had some sort of misses and everything in between. I guess the title goes, will superhero games survive on the name alone? And this comes down to that debate is, a lot of these games, if they didn't have a superhero name behind them, hence a game like Gotham Knights, which I'm sure will sell relatively well despite its sort of lackluster reviews and its performance issues. But it is, again, a DCU kind of game. It's the Gotham Arkham's, Knight Gotham series kind of stuff. So I haven't played the game yet, so I don't want to say, technical thoughts on it. If I haven't played it, that's not fair to the developers of the game. I'm still interested in it, but I probably will wait for a bit of a drop in the price on this game and maybe see if they do update it along the way for perhaps a 60 frame cycle. But, like I said, we've had Spider-Man, which came out with good reviews. And then, of course, we had the Avengers game, which kind of fell flat a little bit, even though some people love that. Then it kind of went back up a little bit with perhaps one of the better games, but was highly sort of underappreciated, if you could call it that, with Guardians of the Galaxy. And now we get, obviously, this game, which, again, kind of goes back down on the Metacritic meter again. So how do you guys feel about that? I mean, how do you feel about Gotham Knights, if anybody's played it, first of all? And then do you think, developers could either, Do you think there's more pressure on them, I guess, to make the games better because they have a superhero name behind them, or perhaps they can kind of go, why not? If the game kind of flops or this is not up to snuff, it's got a superhero behind it, so it's probably going to sell really, really well regardless. Whoever wants to take the floor.
I got words. Let me go first.
Go ahead, Paul. You can have at it, and
we'll bring back so. And Bushido left because I get to go first. So there you go. So let me just say that the whole, I'm noticing that once this game, the recent one, Gotham Knights was out, it's starting to get better and better pickup because all the pre-release talk was always about 30 frames per second, blah blah blah, yucky. But now that people are actually playing it, it's picking up because much like Guardians of the Galaxy, people were worried about it coming out after Avengers. Everybody got burned on Avengers. So I think this is going to have a little bit of the same thing. It's going to pick up steam as it goes. And people go, wow, it's not as bad as everybody said it was. Because, guess what? Because, we'd like to see 60 frames per second on everything. It's just too early in the generation. And this game was started way before this generation anyway. So anyway, but as far as would this game carry without the name recognition of the superheroes, probably not. Just because those of us who are fans are drawn into the superhero thing. Oh, it's a Batman game. Oh, it's a whatever. So we look for that, and so on name recognition alone, no, a bad superhero game can get canned just as bad as everything else. Like you mentioned, the Avengers, even though it's still there and it's doing better, when it first came out, it took a lot of bad crap. Avengers or not, people are like, I ain't playing this crap. I don't want to. The Hulk and everybody, it all feels the same. I'm not playing this crap. So the name gets the interest up, but it doesn't mean it'll carry a bad game. Same with Star Wars or anything other big title like that. If it's a bad game, it's a bad game. When it comes down to it, they may get that little flash right at the beginning. Same thing happens with movies. People are excited about a movie. First week, it tops the box office. Right. After that, it takes an 80% drop because, well, it's shit. Same thing with games. Names can only carry you so far.
So. That is very true. Well said by Cerebral Paul. Let's find out how Wize Old Gamer feels about the superhero genre of games in particular. And yes, can they hold up without the name brand behind them?
Well, I mean, I think the reverse is true. I think you said that do the developers feel pressure to make a good game? I think the reverse. I mean, there have been crappy superhero games since since there have been consoles. I mean, you look at the old. I mean, you look at the Superman 64 game, which is a royal clusterfuck.
Going way back.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day with the old Spider-Man game for the 2600. I mean, you're talking about there were shit games from the beginning. And to be honest with you, I think that is a little bit developer push, not developer push, but publisher push, because they want something out there. They want during Christmas time when Miss Karen, the soccer mom with the Honda Odyssey, to go in, and she was like, "Oh yeah, my kids like Batman and Robin, and I'll play this game as well." But everything changed in this whole genre when Insomniac entered the fray and they threw a Spider-Man game, because Insomniac was making a superhero game before they had the license to do a Marvel character with the whole Infamous series and everything. Mm-hmm. And I think that now there is more of a pressure, and I think that as to feed off of Cerebral Paul, as much as I hate doing sloppy seconds after him, yeah. Can you even imagine what sloppy seconds after Cerebral Paul would be?
You're not good enough for my
you would think of that.
You're not good enough for my sloppy seconds, and my sloppy seconds wouldn't put up with you either. So yeah,
I imagine it being a piece of crusty pie left over in a plate.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it would be. I think it would be more like dry crusted seconds. More like
that's right, Paul. Don't take no crap from him, Paul.
I ain't taking no crap from him. He ain't nothing. He ain't nothing.
Yeah, you ain't so bad.
You ain't bad. You ain't nothing.
You ain't so bad.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, I think now the things shift. I mean, you think about it, like the Wolverine game that came out, the Hulk game that came out. Avengers is the royal one, is the big one. But as Paul says, I think that the cream will rise to the top. You know, the cream of the cum will
Yep.
rise to the top. And just like Guardians of the Galaxy had a
Yep.
second wind, and I think that's crazy. But I disagree with Paul's take on Gotham Knight. Now, have I played it? No, but I have looked at plenty of people who reviewed it, people who I trust, like Seal Up and everything. And I know that is not the way to do it. But if they said that the fighting mechanics is ass and all that stuff is ass, yeah.
But you know what? I've seen people I know, same people you know, say the fighting mechanics are not ass. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm seeing
and
too.
I'd rather go with people I know than some guy, you know, sitting behind a screen that you really don't know. You know,
I agree, but then at the same time, is it something that I'm willing to risk $70 for? See, I think
Fact.
well, no, I'm not willing to risk $70 for it either. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
that's the
that
biggest point.
it's
Yep.
not as bad as people are making it, that people were making it out to be. You know, it's like, you know, shitting on a game before you actually see it in action or play it, to me is just, you know, riding the wagon with
Yeah.
everybody else. And it's
Wait
like,
a couple of weeks, guys. I mean, last year I picked up Guardians of the Galaxy like probably about less than 2 months after it came out. It was on a Black Friday special for like $40 Canadian. You know what I mean?
you're gonna wait for $40 Canadian. I'm gonna wait until I sent out a message to Eidos Montreal. I said, "Hey, Eidos, what do we get for $10?"
let's see why
You get
Why
a graphic
do-
upgrade
yeah,
for
why-
Sony's
why do
PlayStation
that?
version.
No, I mean, there's two things that really has changed the goalpost here. Number one was the release of and basically the overall resounding success that Insomniac showed with Spider-Man. That was one, and the second one was the bump in the price of the games. Yeah, I know it's only $10, but it's the optics of it. So before, back in the day, do I want to play this shit Wolverine's Origins game? Yeah, fine, maybe because it's cheap, but now, am I willing to fork over $70? It better be pretty damn good before I do it. So, yeah, I think that's what's going on now. I
But
think
but
so.
those of us who've been around for a while, when you look at the fact that we were paying $50 in 1980 for a game, we were actually paying much closer to
Yeah.
100 and something.
Shit, I paid $70 for the original Legend of Zelda.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all relative as far as that goes. As far as, let me just answer one thing. I think ever since the pretty much the letdown of Avengers, because it should have been a much bigger game at launch, but you know what happened. They are feeling the pressure that if they're going to slap a superhero name on it and slap a superhero skin on it, that shit better be good, or else it will get chewed up and spit out by the fan base, as we saw. You know,
Well, that's a good
so
question.
that is a lot of pressure right now,
Mm-hmm.
because
But here-
superheroes are big, just, you know, in not just in the gaming industry, just in general. Superheroes are on a wave right now, and it goes through waves. They were big in the 50s, they were
Yeah.
big in, you know, then they kind of dropped down, then they came back up, and right now we're in a very high with superheroes. At some
But here-
point that high will go back down, you know.
I want to answer your question with a question. How much has the failure of Avengers sort of tarnished all superhero games to a certain extent, in the sense that how much now are people like being cautiously
Oh, they
optimistic?
are, you know, and it definitely showed with Guardians of the Galaxy. It really showed with Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of it, because it was the same publisher or the same, you know, same group.
Yeah.
But but I think people are being more cautious. They're waiting and seeing. I think that's why that maybe even why this game, Gotham Knights, is getting as much crap as it's getting, because people got burned, and so now they're, you know, being a little bit more, you know, finicky, and some people are just jumping on it to be negative for negative's sake. But whatever, you know, that is what it is. That's why I said I don't trust unless I know them. And there are a few reviewers that I know. I don't really trust what Joe Guy behind his keyboard has to say, you know. Or if I do look at his stuff, I look at his previous stuff to see what his general take is on stuff. You know, that way I know, is he actually talking from, he played it and he has a, you know, an educated thought about it, or is he just trashing on it for the sake of trashing on it?
Right.
Because when you read a review and it says, well, I just didn't like it, 4, you're like, okay, what does that mean? You know, and we've all seen those reviews. You know,
Right.
that's a meaningless review. That means nothing. You know.
Well-
So yeah, so I'm very finicky on my reviewers more than anything.
Well, I
Just
think
before-
what's gonna I think what's going to happen going forward is now that I think publishers were in the same mold that, hey, it's a superhero game, slap a Superman or Spider-Man on it and ship it out the door. But now developers are coming to realize that, hey, that business model doesn't work anymore after the Avengers, after all the other two things that I talked about earlier, that now going forward, the games have to be of a certain pedigree before I think they would even release it. So yeah, that's my take on
And
it.
Before
it's
we
not
bring in
just
Mr.
superheroes, you know,
Bushido's
we have.
take on this, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm just going to say it's not only superhero games, by the way.
Yeah.
If they released, what's it called, Hogwarts Legacy, just as a AD&D RPG or whatever, it wouldn't carry near as much interest as it does because it has the Hogwarts name slapped on it, and that adds a lot of pressure to that game. I guarantee it. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Let's catch up with the chat real quick and get over to Mr. Bushido's
Yeah.
thoughts on all this. Let's hello to the chat. We got some people here, like Nate is in the chat tonight. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you here. We got General Spartan 27. My good friend Seamus Kelly is actually in the building. What's going on, Seamus? He drops a super chat and says, "Love the show, Noof and crew." Thank you, Seamus. Greatly appreciate it. Glad you could catch the show this week. We got who else? We got Vic the Click hanging out with us as well. Jason Max is here. Dark Zone 25. Dizzy Delta still here as well. You guys are fan-freaking-tastic. Thanks for being with us. Yes, let's head over again. Let's find out how Mr. Bushido feels about the superhero game genre, where they're kind of heading. Can they carry themselves without the names? Maybe he thinks they can, maybe they can't. How do you feel, my friend, about the game? Maybe you can start with your thoughts on Gotham Knights if you've had a chance to battle some crime in Gotham.
No, I have not. I've just been looking at videos on it, and from the very beginning, though, for me, the gameplay just looks like it's just trash. And a lot of people, one thing I learned about people when it comes to their favorite heroes or favorite genres, sometimes they force themselves to like something. And to me, I can't do that. Like, I'm a huge Mass Effect fan, huge Batman fan. When Mass Effect Andromeda came out, I didn't like it.
Nobody did.
Yeah, it's set until early this year, and I finally went back to beat it. It was actually okay. It wasn't as bad, but they did update it a lot since then, right? So it was okay, but I'm not gonna lie or sit here and cap and say, "Hey, man, that was just as good as everything." No, it just wasn't. Combat was all that though, but it just wasn't that good though as far as story and characters. When I look at this game now, the Arkham series to me is GOAT.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah. This one though, I just don't like the mechanics, the way it even looks. It's a lot about it. I really just don't like. Well, as far as watching people playing it.
It's a great point to bring up the looks, because did you see some of the comparisons of Batman Arkham Knight versus this? And it's like, wow, like there is a massive visual downgrade no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
And yet they're struggling to make this game. It looks like Arkham Knight was built on next gen consoles, and this was built on the last.
No. Wait.
Okay.
You say that Cerebral Paul last week defended his ass.
Here we go again. But
please explain to me why this is next gen.
The main difference between the two, again, is Gotham or Arkham Knight is a single player game that isn't so dependent on the untethered open world crap. So a lot more can go there as far as what they can do here. And because I watched Spooky's lady play this game last night, who I'm a big fan, and for
Trinity.
Thank you. Yeah. I watched her play last night, and my first thing when I saw it, because that was the first time I actually saw it, was this dropped me right back into that Arkham world because of the way the maps look, the way the graphics look. They may not be as polished as they were on Arkham Knight, but still, it still automatically put me in that place.
No, I gotta say one thing with that, Paul.
Let me put it this way to you, though, Paul. Yes, I get that the scale is a little bit different for a co-op game that's a little bit more open, but you also got to remember that Arkham Knight was built on essentially PlayStation 4 and Xbox One hardware running less than 2 teraflops of power, and these things are gigantic leaps, and they're still struggling.
and the worlds are
Hey, I
humongous.
say we change
Well,
his name from
but
Cerebral.
I'm-
I say we change his
But
name
we're
from
going to
Cerebral
get back
Paul.
to, we don't know what's going on underneath. And some of that struggling has to do with the developer. Did they
Now,
not use
I
the
agree with
tools that
that.
were available to them?
I was
Did
getting
they-
I was
did-
getting to bring that into it too, Paul, because
Yeah.
if you look at the game, it runs like crap on PC. How in the world does that even happen? How do you have a game run on PC and run just as bad as consoles? So I asked a couple guys that
But you don't know what's going on underneath the
no, that's what I'm
hood.
getting to
You
get
know,
to. I'm getting to get to that. I'm
You know
getting to
what?
get to
You
that.
joke at me about that, but there's some, you think that's funny. You think that's a punchline, but it's not.
Yeah,
I'm a
tell him,
computer
Paul.
guy. I'm a programmer. I've done that kind of stuff.
I say
Unless
we
you
change-
know what that code is doing under there, shut your fucking mouth, okay?
I say,
Oh!
I say we change your name from Cerebral. I say we change your name from Cerebral Paul to Master Defender.
So I'm with Paul with that, right? So I asked a couple of developers, right? I said, theoretically, tell me what's the reason why it wouldn't even be able to run 60. And to a man, they both said, in their opinion, that untethered co-op is a real hamstring on the
It
game.
really is.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the main thing, because I was like, come on now, the console can do this.
No.
And that. They were like,
Stop,
listen, dude,
John,
even PC.
what do you mean? Where did they make it happen last gen, John? Where did they make it happen last gen? Where did they have untethered co-op?
I'm about to
running?
say, yeah, what game was that last gen?
Yeah.
So
You
that was
guys
the
have any
biggest
idea
thing.
what untethered co-op does for a machine?
It darn near doubles everything you have to do in the game. So in other words, it's like running the game twice. It's running
Arkham
on
Knight was
somebody
not
else's
untethered
console.
co-op.
Yeah,
Actually,
I was
with
like,
four
Arkham Knight
players,
was never co-op.
With 4-player co-op, you're not doing it twice. You're doing it 4 times.
Yeah,
You're rendering everything 4 times.
Yeah, there is a reason a lot of co-op games never actually have the campaign run co-op. They always have a separate mode, which kind of keeps
Exactly.
things on a
Yeah,
smaller
exactly.
scale.
And a
Like if you look
small
at
world,
Call of Duty
exactly.
games, they got
No,
co-op.
but
They have these co-op missions, and a lot of games always have co-op missions, but they're not like a full
Right.
open world campaign. I get it; it's very CPU intensive to run massive graphics, but maybe that's where they got to make those sacrifices. Is
Yep.
Don't cut out the ray tracing or cut out things that are just very taxing.
ray trace. We could have done without the ray tracing. That would have helped.
Or how about making the tethering, just limiting that then? Like most
Yeah.
games that do have that, they have a limit to it. And we all have grown accustomed and used to it.
Yep.
So it's not a big deal. None of us thought that we'd be able to just run wherever we wanted in the game separately. So we thought we would just be running together, basically.
The tethering in State of Decay 2 is hilarious. It's
You know
you're
what's funny?
running to go
I've
grab
never played that
something
far. Yeah. Listen, it'll make you disappear in one place, and next thing you know, you're in a van with the other guys. You're like, wait, what just happened?
yeah. I was fighting. I don't know what. Wham. Okay. Thanks.
Yes, it has happened a few times. I remember seeing it. You're right. So look, having that limited isn't bad. That I know they wanted to stretch the boundaries, but I just thought that it really hamstrung the game. And the other thing about the games and the hero names, yes and no. Also, I think that sometimes, like I said, if it's your favorite, people just gonna buy it. Because I saw a lot of people was like, I don't care what the reviews are, I'm buying it. I looked at it and I was like, I care what the reviews are if it's bad universally. And so I was like, I'm not buying it. I'll buy it Black Friday if it's like $25 or whatever. But I'm not spending $70 for that game.
Again, we're going back to Avengers. How many people pre-ordered it?
Yes.
Got the big old package, paid all the money, got the game, and went,
Yeah.
oh, it sucks.
Paul, you're right, because when I first heard about Guardians of the Galaxy, the first thing I thought was Avengers, and I said, fool me once. You know what I mean? I said, it's not going to happen. It took the whole community to say, hey, this game is really good. I was like, you sure? Like, I'm talking about guys They was like, dude, I promise you, it's up there with Game of the Year. I was like, get out of here. They was like, no, I promise, Game of the Year. Bought it on sale, went back in a week on Twitter and was like, no, buy this game. No, buy this game. This is absolutely Game of the Year candidate. It was an excellent game.
So Guardians of the Galaxy was the first game I completed this year.
So my question is, like, you know, how folks are trepidatious to buy after the Avengers, how folks are trepidatious to buy Guardians of the Galaxy when it first came out. This game, they're waiting. I think even Rocksteady is going to suffer from this as well with when they release Suicide Squad.
No, I don't think they will because they're Rocksteady.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So who did this one? It was Warner Brothers Montreal, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Eidos Montreal. Yeah, well, same thing.
Eidos Montreal, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of chatter on Twitter and stuff saying that, you know, this might put a blemish on Rocksteady's game as well. People might be like waiting to hold off and wait for the reviews. But my question is it going to negatively impact Insomniac? Will people do the same thing? Well, is it still a superhero game?
I don't think so. Not when it's on. Like, I think when you have a pedigree, I think that people have more faith in you. But when you
Montreal had a pedigree.
A good example of that is me with Bethesda. Everybody's saying, why are you so excited for Starfield? Because the pedigree with single player game for Bethesda is amazing.
Right.
Now their multiplayer offerings are is shaky at best when you're talking about 76 or ESO.
Well, that was a separate team also.
Yeah, a separate team. And when you're talking about their single player pedigree, I'm all in day one.
But Montreal's pedigree wasn't bad, though. Montreal's
no, it's not bad, but that's the deal. It's not bad. It's not great like Rocksteady's. Rocksteady's is great, but it's not great though. So
I don't think CDPR is going to be for sale. They're actually partially owned by the government there. So
no, CDPR is not. That's not happening with anybody. Yeah,
no,
but that game. Cool. Oh, that's another one too. Cyberpunk. When they got that thing fixed, Cyberpunk is like that. I didn't realize it was that good a game.
Witcher 3 went through the same thing. Where everybody forgets Witcher 3 when it launched was a bug fest. I mean, it was infected badly. And but after it got all fixed up, man, game of the year. Yeah, everybody did game of the year.
Well, John 907 has a great point in the chat, right? Just read what he says.
It's a wash, bro. Oh, explain tethering to the guy who just upgraded their 1X to the Series X, especially expecting next gen and plays shit after Arkham Knights.
It's just about the game having to run and project whatever is like. Let's put it this way: if I'm on the northeast section of the game, if it's just me single-handedly, it should be able to handle it. But if I have someone else on the west side running whatever their mission is, the game has to render that also. Right. So it's putting a strain on the memory. So every game has a certain amount of memory. You use that memory up, there's not much else you could do about frame rate.
Mm-hmm. Even when it's just your character on the screen and you're all on the other side of the map, the machine still has to track everybody.
You ever watch too much porn and watch your computer struggle?
So, but yeah, it's not isolated to your Xbox.
That one hit too close to home.
Yeah. But what you're seeing is not isolated to your Xbox. It also all the other Xboxes involved have to know what's going on.
And look, it's even happening on high-end PCs. Yeah, guys with like 3080s, and I think it was a 3080 that they showed recently, and was still struggling to keep it above 26 frames. Like, it's wild, man.
Yeah. Wow. You know, I guess, like I said, the whole question comes down to like license as well. Like at the same, they spend a lot of money to get those licenses, but at times like this, they're probably very happy that they did, because if this game was Joe Blow and the bubblegum farts, I mean, this probably wouldn't sell that good, but it's going to sell like hotcakes regardless, because it's a Batman game or a DCU game. It's got familiar characters, and the key question is as well, who really cares at the end of the day? Is it the tech guys, or is it the old school hardcore gamers like us that really give a shit? Or is the average everyday Joe Blow gamer that goes in and buys their Series S or X or PS5 right now even worried about 30 frames per second or any of that other stuff? They're probably just like, man, it's a new Batman game, and they're excited as shit. They gotta go home, and they don't know the difference, couldn't tell you the difference. They're like, yay! I can
casual gamers don't give a rat's ass.
I think that's what it comes down to. But how much of the game is largely going to be crippled because the community kind of tells you, hey, fucking don't buy this shit. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
But to each their own, right? I said I'll wait for the sale just because I know well enough. I'd love to try it. From what I've seen, it looks pretty cool, but I'll leave it at that.
But see, you just said it right there. Me and you are still gonna buy it when it's on sale. So you're 100% right. It's still making them money, because if it was Joe Blow and the bubblegum farts, I'd be like, nah, I'm passing. But since it's Arkham, if it's $25, I'll buy it.
That's right.
So it's still a sale.
Yeah. It's still a sale.
Yeah, I also saw a tweet, somebody going, you think this is going to go to Game Pass? And what they were actually asking is, you think it's going to drop the Game Pass soon, like Avengers did? And I explained my answer. I said, yes, it's going to go to Game Pass at some point, but not for the reason you're trying to fish for.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If it makes money, it's not going to make it there no time soon.
Yeah. Just on a side note, for those of you who didn't hear the news, and yes, it is made official by Henry Cavill. He will be coming back as the Man of Steel, and it's the best damn news I heard all week. I'm super excited, cannot wait.
Well, let me add to that, because you may not have heard this. James Gunn is now in charge of the DCU.
I did.
Oh wow, really?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, this was his last Guardian.
I'll take that.
Is his last Guardian.
Yep.
So
I'll take that.
Yeah, and the guy responsible for bringing, and the guy
James Gunn is doing the entertainment side, and some business guy is doing the business side. So they're splitting the pie to do it correctly.
Cool.
And shout out to
the bad part is they're still answerable to the idiot who runs Discovery.
Yeah.
So
and shout out to Dwayne The Rock Johnson for obviously big supporter and puller for Henry Cavill, because I think his large sway in the industry, being one of the biggest box office draws, certainly helped pull him in. And I think the majority of fans, and I think everybody in this panel, from the sounds of it, are very excited to see Cavill back. I think he's largely been one of the best Supermans ever.
Not only that,
agreed.
The Rock has said Black Adam will fight Superman.
Yeah,
which is what everybody wants to see.
Are they going to do like their own storyline, or are they going to pick up from where the Snyderverse ended with the?
I think they're rebooting.
I think it's a Man of Steel 2. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it is. It's a Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, I have to admit, I love him as Superman. I thought Man of Steel, which didn't get great reviews, it's still up there in my top. Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that movie so many times. It is up there with my top comic book movies, and there have been a lot of really good ones. I still love that movie.
Just like I liked the original Justice League, but I did really like the Snyder cut. For all the crap.
The Snyder cut was better.
Was amazing.
Snyder cut was a lot better. It made a lot more sense. Yeah. It gave a lot of depth into what it was going on. So I was like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a real director's cut. Like that's how you do it. Not these ones that come out like 6 months after the original version. They call it the director's cut, and you go, "Oh, there's 2 minutes of footage," and most people are like, 2 minutes.
Right?
You're like, "What the fuck did I miss?" You know what I mean? Oh, 2 minutes of extended footage. That could have been fucking some kid eating cereal with a dog shat in the backyard.
Who showed us how to do that was Peter, what's his name? Fucking Lord of the Rings.
That was the best director's cut. Yeah.
You want the log version, baby? Okay, you'll get the log.
That's true. That was very well. Yes.
That's a matinee right there. That's a real matinee.
I think it's always been implementation for them, because, like, for example, the Jeff Johns comics books with the whole Green Lantern Corps, and you had the Green Lanterns, and you had the Yellow Lanterns, you had the Red Lanterns.
Oh God, I hate that shit. All the additional colors and stuff.
I actually like it.
Oh no, I like it too.
Yeah.
Well, my problem is, from a movie standpoint, it's going to make it way too hard to track. Okay, so this one's based on love and all that, and this one's based on anger. And this one,
no, I think it was pretty easy. Like they have a cartoon series on
I know
HBO Max, and it's pretty
know.
easy to keep up with. But what you have to do is you can't keep introducing multiple characters from each core.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what will make things harder, is when you keep bringing in different guys. They work in teams most of the time, but they do work in teams sometimes, but most of the time they're by themselves. So it's not so bad.
It doesn't help,
except for the Red Lanterns.
that Ryan
Right.
Reynolds thing really destroyed
Mm.
Green Lantern. And
Oh man, it did. You know, the game
Wow.
was actually pretty good.
What's that?
Which one?
The Green Lantern game for the
Oh, I love the game on the
yeah, the
360.
game was actually
The game was
good.
awesome. Yeah, the
That
game was
one and
great.
the Wolverine X-Men Origins, those two games are actually pretty good. I
You
was
actually
surprised
liked
they did.
X-Men
It was really good,
Origins?
It
Yeah, it was
was a
great.
good
That was awesome.
game, dude. That was a good game.
That was a walking simulator of my ass. That was
Wise.
Wow.
What?
I hated
Are
that
you
Wise,
sure we're
kidding?
playing the same fucking game?
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, I fucking
Even somebody in
hated
the
that
chat said it was
goddamn
one of the best
game.
superhero movies ever or games ever played.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm surprised how good that game was.
No. I hated that thing. Was put me to sleep before I had.
What?
You're talking about the same game. Are you sure you're not high?
I am high, but I know what game I'm fucking talking about. Okay, and that game.
They're
Was
both on the 360. They were good games.
I think he played a game called Wolverine about a military sheep.
Wolverine.
I would have enjoyed the military sheep. I didn't enjoy this one, you know.
And Tron was actually pretty good on 360. I was surprised that was a good game. People didn't like the movie. I actually liked the movie, but people didn't like the movie. But the game was actually good.
Yeah, that's true. It was done. It was well done. No,
I have the Blu-ray for Tron Legacy. I really like that movie.
Last question for you guys before we move the needle and get into Ask Arnold. So, guys, get your questions because Ask Arnold's coming up right after this. Any game that you could pick, superhero wise, to get to come out, what would you like to see from all you guys? What would be your number one game if you could create one right now and have it made? What would you like to see? Let's go with Mr. Bushido.
Oh, I was hoping he was gonna go last because that way if somebody picks something I wanted, I wouldn't have to waste a pick. All right, okay. If I had to have a superhero game and have it, let's say on the Xbox for exclusive, I would want the Punisher.
Nice.
I've always been a big Punisher fan. I think that John Barenthal is like the Punisher, and I've rewatched that series so many times. I think that the problem with most games, most of the other games, they didn't really, I guess you say, understand the character as much. You know, yeah, he's angry, yeah, he's doing this, but I think they kind of lost it. Except for that last Punisher game, like when you could fry the guy's hand in the deep fryer or his face. But I think that he's more than that, and I think that's what the series captured. And I would like to see somebody do the same thing with the game.
Very nice. Yeah. The Punisher from Mr. Bushido. How about you, Mr. Wog? What superhero game would you make if you could make one?
I like playing games where the character develops over time. So my go-to would be Doctor Strange, where you start off from the beginning and you learn a few spells and Carmitage, and you go around and you're doing things and you learn more spells and incantations.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I would love a Doctor Strange game, especially if you can incorporate the multiverse in it. That would be even more phenomenal. And think about like the high level spells that you could do and stuff, like when you get like totally OP'd and everything. That would be one. And I got another one as a side because it's already a game, but I don't think the implementation was that good. I would love to see a Deadpool game where he like breaks out of the game and he goes into other people's games. Like, that would be awesome.
That actually would be, yeah.
Yeah, like recreate a level. He goes in, like kicks Mario's ass or something.
Exactly. That would be freaking awesome. Like going to Zelda.
Well, I have to give you props. So you actually, came up with a couple good ones.
What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean came up with a couple? What are you talking about?
Listen, man. Yeah, I'm a little, just little. Yeah. I'm shocked. Yes, I am shocked.
Just because I'm high.
And then you described it very well too.
I would get offended, but I'm too drunk to get offended.
Very nice picks. Doctor Strange.
Oh, by the way, no, before you go,
I'm going to go somewhere that nobody else probably thought of. I would love to have a little bit of fun and see the Tick have a video game.
The Kick?
The Tick, baby.
Oh, I thought you were the Tick too. I thought, where the fuck is the Kick?
The Tick is that big, gigantic blue superhero.
Yes.
You know what's funny? I love that series. It was so funny. It was really funny. Yeah, I used to love that series.
And if you read some of the old comic books, it's hilarious. It really is. but they could have a lot of fun with that. They really could. I mean, we're getting
I do agree with that. Yeah.
style game, so it could definitely do a tick. You know.
Mhm.
I would like to also see one of those games from the smaller companies. I forgot the name of it, Image. And Image had a few projects that I did like, and one of them I always thought would be a good idea, would be a fun game, would be the Savage Dragon. I always thought the Savage Dragon was one of those characters that, since we don't know the villains and the rogue gallery, it would be fun to learn everything about the character, and especially with him being super strong also. So I think the game would be enjoyable.
You know, and I'd also like to think. I think
Blade. Also Blade. I'm sorry.
Blade would be awesome.
No,
I think
Ezra
Ezra Miller notwithstanding, I think the Flash could make a great game if they could figure out how to do it well. You know,
No, I don't think so.
I'll tell you something that they should do, and it'll be pretty fun. You know, make a game sort of. You don't have to use a license, but make a game sort of like, you know, the TV show The Boys, where you got these superheroes that are basically assholes, and you're a regular old guy trying to figure out how to put these motherfuckers down. And yeah, you have this super serum, but if you take it, it'll have some weird fucking effects on you. But you have to figure it out. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
Terrible.
Yeah, you
That was
pick
your
a
worst
random
idea,
character. Here's how that would go. You pick a random character outside of the ones that are in the show, and you don't know what superhero what powers they're going to get. It's kind of like at random. Wouldn't that be cool?
They had something like that, right? Like,
yeah.
What was that? What was that open that mass multiplayer RPG that came out sometime back? It was that City of Heroes? Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
That was pretty good. It had something like that where you sort of picked your superpower and went around and did.
It wasn't that great. It wasn't.
Says the man who likes Gotham Knight. You have no credibility.
Wow. No, I never said I like Gotham Knight. In fact, I cannot complete that game because of the driving mechanics in that game. So
I actually like Gotham Knights. It wasn't the best.
I want to. I want to, but I can't do the drive. There's so much focused on battling inside the Batmobile and driving around, and that I can't do it because of my disability and my limitations.
I got you.
So
hey, Paul, I didn't like it either, and I don't have any disabilities, but it still was hard for me.
Yeah,
and I had to fight. I had to fight because I wanted to beat the game. I had to fight myself to learn how to freaking drive and do the combat. I really didn't like it.
I wouldn't be able.
You got to drive the Batmobile in those.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that was terrible. He did it too much. I didn't mind it at first, but then
way
he kept doing
too much.
And the tanks that you had to sneak around behind the back of to get the shot.
Yes.
It's like I can't do it.
It's like you wanted the Batmobile, but you didn't have to shove it up her asshole while we're at it.
Well, I can understand why Gotham Knight would be a problem for me, because it would be hard for me to control Batwoman and masturbate at the same time. So
Batwoman's
I'm relating. I'm trying to sympathize. That's
so
Batwoman's not in that game.
So one other group that I think would make a great story-driven, heavy game would be Watchmen out of their universe, the alternate heroes.
Yeah.
That would be a really great. It would be a dark game, and it would be a very serious game, but it would it could be so well done to tell a story. You know.
We got a super chat coming in, and he gives us our thoughts. It is Sir X-Man, and he drops in and says $2. A Silver Surfer game where he goes bad to good.
The only reason his ass wants to play Silver Surfer because his Silver Surfer is as bald as he is. That's the only freaking reason he wants to play. Fucking Silver Surfer. Who the hell wants to play? How would that be a good fucking game? Going around and flying a surfboard all over the fucking place. Are you goddamn crazy?
I take it you know nothing about Silver Surfer. Like you don't know much about anything, but
hey, that's I know it'll be I know two things. Number one, I know two things. Silver Surfer would suck as a game, and Gotham Knights is not. It should not be a next game.
Your dates here, Log. Your dates here.
Yeah, I'm telling you these jokes later, not now.
And here's a couple of my picks just to kind of close out the deal. I'll leave my last one in a second, but here's one that I don't really think we've had an actual video game per se, and that would be He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
That's not a superhero game. That's bullshit.
No, He-Man's a superhero. He-Man's a superhero.
He was always pretty
Absolutely.
super to
agree.
me.
Yeah,
I
I
have
agree.
the power, and then he went around kicking ass. And besides, I mean, look at all of the baddies that he fought. I mean, He-Man and
That's another game that would be a lot. That
iconic
could be a lot of
Then
fun.
are the
That's another-
Thundercats superheroes as well?
I would. Yes,
Yes,
that's another
yes.
one that would make a great game.
Yes.
Thundercats would make a great game.
Well, we
Oh,
knew
they
you'd
could
pick a
use-
game that has large, overgrown pussy in it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah, everybody be
Yeah,
staring at
that's
Chitara
what
all the
Wise
time.
would have picked.
Now, you know his rallying cry, Thundercats ho. He wasn't crying to the group. He was calling Chitara, Thundercat ho.
My second pick would be an obscure one, and I don't know if you guys would know the comic, but it came out, became fairly popular in the 90s. I think it was by Dark Horse, and it was called Witchblade.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, awesome,
Yes.
awesome book.
Yes. It was
Very
actually
cool character.
Yeah. I was surprised at how good this series was, even the anime.
Yeah, Witchblade I think would make for a great game. And lastly, it's always the challenge, and people say it can't be done properly. I disagree because I think all you need is good writers. And that is, of course, the definitive superhero needs the definitive game, and it's a crying shame we haven't got one. I think you know where I'm going with this. Superman.
Yep.
The biggest problem I have with the Superman game is this. As I said earlier when I picked my game, I like the character who develops over time. Superman would be OP at the first level. Like
Actually, we talked about this.
Yeah,
We talked about
why did you
we
start
talked
with
about it
Clark Kent
before.
and you build your superheroes and you do good deeds and stuff?
Well, we had the idea where we said that he got kryptonite poison in.
Superboy, if you start him in Superboy, he doesn't have all the super duper.
Yeah.
Now that's a good one too. Yeah, how about that?
Like
now,
a side mission might be racing
him
the
being
train,
sick.
trying to beat the train to a certain destination, you know, and,
Right.
and little things like that to kind of get you going, to get you into the game, to develop those skills, and eventually get that superpower. And then towards the middle end of the game, you know, you know, Zod or all these other people come down and, you know, basically make a game that kind of mimics the movies in some which way or form and just make it interesting and have great destruction. If you could do that well, with like great destruction, man, that would be so cool.
And let's not act like Superman never got his butt kicked before.
Well, part of the game could be you do like they did in Superman 2. Well, I love this woman. Okay, you're going to lose your powers. All of a sudden, he's just, you know, Clark Kent getting his ass handed to him, you know. You know, and
That's
okay,
right.
now you've got to work
with your powers, and then got little average guys on the street are kicking the shit out of you.
well, and that's the thing they really didn't show in the movie is how did he get back to his Fortress of Solitude? How long did that take him? As you know, because he had to fucking walk. You know, when he lost his powers, he had to walk out, and then he had
took
to
a Greyhound.
Well,
how many times did he had to run from polar bears?
Have gloves on. He's walking around with his hands in his pocket, like, dude, you ain't super anymore. You be frozen out walking in the northern Canadian tundra.
My biggest issue with Superman is he's really a vanilla type of character. And until he starts to go dark or go bad, he really is kind of a
like an injustice.
Batman always calls him. He's a Boy Scout. You know, he's never gonna do anything bad or questionable. You know, as him.
The most prophetic thing I've ever learned about Superman, I watched on Kill Bill Volume 2 when near the end, when they were talking, like the bride and Bill were talking. Bill said his favorite was Superman, not because of any other reason, but Superman's costume was Clark Kent, and he wanted Clark Kent to blend in with the masses. So Clark Kent is Superman's critique on the human race, and basically Superman thinks that we're pathetic, we're scared, and we're shy all the time. So that was the biggest thing. That was when I got a whole new appreciation for
Superman. But that's a bad take. But yeah, okay.
I agree with that, Paul.
I mean, I do think
coming in from Sir X-Man, $2. Go ahead and read it, somebody.
How about a Thundercats game, which we kind of hit on? Yeah, the old Thundercat ho. I think that could be well done too. That could even be much like Gotham Knights. That could be a 4-player game. I forget how many Thundercats there actually are, but you could pick. You know,
absolutely.
And that's the only pussy Sir X-Men will get these days, anyway. So.
All right, guys, we were at that halfway of the show, and we had a great conversation there on superhero games. I think you know how we all feel at this point in time, and great suggestions on games from the entire panel and our amazing guest, Mr. Bushido. Now it's time for Ask Arnold. Hope you got those questions loaded. Go ahead, guys. Fire away whenever you're ready. Panel, you can take a crack at it first, and anyone in the
Real
chat.
quick, I agree with that. We need a good Voltron game. We also need a good live action Voltron movie. The Lion Voltron, not that car shit. The Flash not that Voltron Force crap, just Voltron, okay?
Any questions for Arnold?
Any questions for Arnold? Yeah. Any questions in the chat for Arnold?
Wait, I got one for Arnold real quick. Arnold, Arnie, Mr. Schwarzenegger, Mr. Arnold, would you, if you were in Cerebral Paul's place, take the kind of crap that Wize dishes out to him?
No, I wouldn't take anything that Wize Old Gamer is going to give to him. When I would come down there, I'd book a first plane ticket to go right down to his house, and I would take the wheels off his wheelchair, and I'd beat him over the head with it. That's what I would do. No.
Wait. You're talking to me or no? Yeah.
No. Yeah. Is if you were Cerebral Paul, would you take the kind of crap that Wize Old Gamer dishes out to him?
No, I wouldn't take it at all. I would the same thing. I would come down there, but the problem is, I would actually bring my donkey, and I would tell Wize Old Gamer he can kiss my ass.
Okay, I got a good. Sir X-Man's got a question.
Yeah.
Hey Arnold, how much do you think Wize Old Gamer misses me?
I think you guys have had some kind of a secret love triangle going this whole time, and I swear to God, I don't know what's going on there. But I think at some point in time, you guys might have met, maybe in a previous life, or perhaps just secretly dating on the side, because you're always emancipated by his bald head and his age, you know. So maybe you can't get it up, but maybe he will. Up your ass.
Hey, what can I say? Once you go black, you don't go back.
Well, you know what they say, you lose control and it's in your hole.
Hey, Doggy Dog 420 has one. He said, Arnold, who are you dressing up as for Halloween?
I'm gonna dress up as Michael Myers. I want to go around and I want to dress up in that big suit and wear that crazy ass mask. Honestly, he's got that white complexion, that posture and everything. You get to go around with a knife and stuff. I think it would be really cool. I want to be someone like that, somebody that's iconic. I'm tired of dressing up as the Terminator. Everybody keeps going, look at you, you look just like the Terminator, but you're old and you're saggy. And I'm just like, but I am the Terminator, and I know you're not. That guy was hot, sexy, and had great muscles. You look like a souffle that somebody popped before they got out of the oven.
I got a question. Hey, Arnold, with all this acquisition talk and the CMA potentially blocking the merger, if you had to write a letter to the CMA, what would you write?
Good question.
I would honestly say, CMA, you're supposed to be looking out for the benefits of the consumer. Well, how does it not benefit the consumer if Sony can put all the exclusives over in their console and, take everything away from Microsoft? You got to stop looking at Microsoft's bank account. Their bank account has got nothing to do with what they're trying to do for the industry. They're trying to move it forward. They're trying to give more gamers more options to play anywhere. And of course, if anybody's got Game Pass, we all know no matter what kind of income level that you're on, whether you're poor, whether you're middle class, whether you got tons of games, everybody loves Game Pass. There's something there for everyone. And if you're on a very tight budget, there's lots of games to play. I don't understand. All Call of Duty would do would just be to bring more people into the ecosystem. When the more people there, the more people are going to be spending money on games. They're going to be playing more games. You even heard one of the guys, the developer, I think it was the guys from Yakuza. They come out and just stated that Game Pass is amazing for the series. It boosted traction on it. It got people playing the game that never ever played Yakuza. So how is that a bad thing for the consumer? These guys have got Sony fucking pony blinders under their ass, and they want to come over. I'm going to beat them over the head with it. These fucking guys are fucking stupid. I'd say Sony's paying them off, or maybe Jim Ryan is fucking somebody's mom in the asshole.
Okay, we got a couple. We got one from, let's see up here. Spider-Man 365. Hey Arnold, can you beat up Superman? Thanks for the question.
Of course. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to seduce Superman. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to inject some kind of liquid-ass kryptonite into my penis, and I'll fucking shoot the load in his ass, and he'll die from the inside out.
Okay, the next one. Eternal Shaddai. Hey Arnold, the new Call of Duty campaign has been released, and later the multiplayer. When are you going to show up? What is it? When are you going to show up now that Rambo appears? Well, sorry. When are you going to show up now that Rambo appears on
I'm going to
Warzone?
go down to NetherRealm, and I'm going to tell these guys, come on, guys, I want you to hire me and put me in the game. I need to do the voice acting here. It's no longer you can get some really terrible voice actor talent to get into step in the game. I need to do it. I'm here. I'm willing, and I'm not going to be in the world a lot longer. So make sure that you get me now while I'm still young enough to do the voice acting. And of course, you know what? I will actually do it for a reasonable fee, and I want to bitch about $4,000. I will do it. And I'm a big time actor. Okay. I know what the contract I'm going to sign. Stop bitching and whining. Just do your fucking job.
Told you guys.
Okay. Dizzy Delta 89. Hey Arnold, would you risk doing the shocker if you were Wolverine? I don't know what that means.
Risk doing the shaka if I was Wolverine.
Yes.
What the fuck is he even talking about?
you don't know what the shocker is.
No, what am I going to do? Stick my
I
cloud
know
in
what the shocker
your electric
is.
pocket?
It's basically two in the pink, one in the sink, or whatever. Yeah.
I will put the shaka in a rocker. That's what I will do. If there's a hole
In the rock.
I will do it. Just bring it on. Put the pussy in front of me. I will sniff it, lick it, pick it, flick it. I will do whatever needs to be done. Just put it here. I've never seen a pussy I didn't like.
Smack it up, flip it, rub it down.
What's going on, Splendiferous? Spider-Man 356. Our good buddy Saltiest Gaming is in the house. Salt shakers are a must. All right, yes, tell us, Ray, what's going on, brother? It's Doggy Dog still hanging out with us. I saw Fastback from the Next Level Gaming podcast in here earlier. Good to see you, Tony Grasso. Man, you guys are amazing. A lot of great faces in here. Jason Max, the list goes on. Thank you guys so much. Sir X-Men still hanging out with us. He's at work. He's working and lurking, all that good stuff. But anyway, guys.
Did you say I had a Vic the Clit?
Vic the Clit? I think I did say hi to Vic the Clit earlier. Yes, indeed.
I've yet to
all
find
right. So let's move the conversation along, shall we? That was a lot of fun. Good stuff right there. So let's talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. We are literally now on the precipice of its release. It comes out here on Friday, the 28th officially. Some people have already been playing early access to the campaign. A lot of people got to try the beta, but just over a month ago. And of course, we're getting mixed reviews, as is kind of always the part. IGN hitting it with a sort of a unexpected low. I mean, I wasn't expecting IGN to go crazy, but I wasn't quite expecting to drop a 6. Now, I mean, I don't know. Call of Duty campaigns have always been pretty good, but I mean, at certain points in time, especially when you play them nearly year in and year out, they all sort of blend together after a while. It's kind of hard to figure out what you played and what you didn't. So, anybody have a chance to dive into the campaign yet? What's your thoughts on it? And about the reviews so far for perhaps one of the, certainly will probably be the biggest release of the year, regardless of the scores. It's going to sell massively well. So what do you guys think about it?
Before anybody says anything or types anything in chat, I have won a copy of the game. I will not have it till Friday. Do not spoil me as far as the campaign is concerned, please.
Paul?
You shoot things.
You move forward, you shoot things, you die. You move forward, shoot things, and die. How's that?
Well, I'm talking about the story, and I hear that the campaign is really good. So I just
now come on now, Noof. You know it's been ages since Paul was able to shoot anything besides blank.
I will shoot you, asshole.
I met a little man down in Dagobah.
You will find out how really good I am with a sidearm. Okay.
Is that like a sidearm? Is in ripped from somebody's torso, kind of like in,
Dahmer? I've not had a chance to play it. My kid has played.
Time for one of these. We're like, what, 5 or 6 episodes back to the return of Gaming After Dark. And here I've got a little sponsor from our sponsor. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Bushido, have you played it yet?
We've been waiting for that.
No. I've talked to a bunch of guys who have played it. They like it. There were a lot of guys in the group chats I'm in were like livid. They were like a 6. They was like they wouldn't have been too upset if it was a 7. But they were thinking, a lot of guys were saying it was really good. I'm gonna get it Black Friday, of course, too. But I was kind of surprised to hear people say that. I actually thought the best campaign I played in a while for what Call of Duty was Infinite. I thought Infinite's campaign was fantastic. A lot of people were dumping on it, but I was really surprised how good it was. But I want to get into that one, though. Yeah, I do want to get into Modern Warfare, though.
All right, so in the chat, I'd like to kind of gauge this. And how many people in the chat are planning to pick up Call of Duty this week? If you do, give us a yes in the chat. If you don't, give us a big no. And if
how long is the campaign? How long is the
maybe.
game supposed to be? How long is the campaign supposed
I heard
to be?
it's around 6 hours on average, which is pretty typical for their campaigns these days.
Huh, yeah. I thought it was usually 10, but okay.
No,
but it is gorgeous, though. The game looks really good, though.
Sure
I mean,
does.
it really looks good, I have to admit.
I've seen some visuals on the game. Yeah, it looks amazing. Even some people going, is that real life?
Vic's got it. Spider-Man's going to pass. General Spartan says, I think there's a bias from IGN because of the ABK deal. Do you think that?
You know what's funny?
People are thinking
I've forgotten. Yeah, I did think that. I forgot about that. I was like, I wonder if this has an impact on it because of ABK, but nah, they don't own them now. So yeah, but still,
nobody buys Call of Duty for the campaign, just like nobody buys Playboy for the.
That's not true.
You know what's going to happen? Call of Duty is going to be the has-been. It's going to be like a garbage game that nobody cares about if the deal goes through. You know how it's going to work, right?
Yep. Well, the good thing is at least we know it'll go by yearly, so it won't be every year, and the teams will be able to work on some other stuff instead of having to work on Call of Duty all the time.
Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, just this is from an outsider's perspective, and I know I'm going to get lambasted about what I'm about to say, but it's just a little bit of a fatigue for me because it's just starting to just be all the same. You know, like you're seeing.
I understand that. Yeah.
You're out, and you're like, you know what? It looks good, but been there, done that. Yeah, like.
But you know what? COD is like Madden for people. Some people, like my cousin, he plays every freaking day. He had a whole PC built just to be able to play Warzone, and he plays every stinking day. And for me, I couldn't play every day. I love Halo. I can't play that every day. I just have an ADHD type mindset when it comes to gaming. And once I beat a game, I want to move on to the next game to see what the new experience will be. But there are people that just love, and I mean love COD and like I said, 2K and Madden. So, and they don't play anything else. So, I guess to each his own, as it says, but it's I guess it's all about hitting that note for that particular gamer.
Well, hopefully they have something memorable. Like I remember with the original Modern Warfare, they had that whole no Russian scene and everything, and that was huge. And I think ever
controversial,
since Well, see, and that's the thing. I think that ever since they've become even bigger and bigger, I think they're scared to do anything controversial because they have so many people like looking down at their throats. And I think that sort of takes away from the game in a way because there's really nothing to grasp onto. It just seems like basically junk food. It's just like, okay, yeah, well, that's fine, but so I don't know.
The Eternal says about 6 hours if you run through it in 17 chapters. I think if you don't run through it, I guess the time would be about 8 to 10 hours, I guess. But that's good to know that. And matter of fact, did you even enjoy the campaign? That's what I would like to hear for you.
Yeah.
was there anything memorable about the campaign? Like, you don't have to tell us, like, you know, spoil it or anything, but was there anything that really you're like, wow? I mean, I did not know they went there type of situation.
Well, you know, Bushido mentioned Infinite. That was actually one of the more memorable campaigns because it was so different for Call of Duty, right? It really
Yeah.
stood out. I mean, the space stuff, and of course, you had, you had Kit Harington in there. Of course, Conor McGregor even making an appearance as one of the bad guys in the game. That sort of shit, you know, because it was so different. Like I said, it still played like Call of Duty, but just didn't really feel like your traditional Call of Duty stuff, which always tend to be World War games or like
sick of those.
modern setting. The last time a game really impressed the hell out of me campaign wise, and I think largely because it was based off of actual special ops missions, was the original Medal of Honor for 2010 when game. That shit was fire. Why that game never got a sequel is beyond me. That is one of the best campaigns I've ever played in my life.
So
Bad Company was a good one too.
Yeah.
And the other one was what's the other game that's outside? Titanfall. Titanfall 2. That has to be the best. I couldn't believe how good that campaign was. That had to be one of the top 5 campaigns I've ever played in my life.
Yep. I keep hoping I kept hoping they would do an additional DLC for the single player aspect of it. But,
right.
Okay, but
a lot of people made a stir when Vince Zampella and company left Activision. They said, everything was, they were trying to say like they weren't really all the talent, but honestly, you can definitely tell their influence on the franchise because
still sticking with them.
You still see it, and the games that they basically have pretty much touched have all turned into like basically gold so far. I mean, even like like I said, their magic with Apex Legends, love it or hate it, but the game's definitely got it's got an it factor to it because people love it, and like Titanfall is amazing. Titanfall was just a victim of really bad timing and terrible marketing, that sort of thing. So hopefully they don't give up on that one. Like it's a great campaign and it needs to come back for a third.
But rumor has it's supposed to be a third.
Yeah, they've been saying that rumor for a while now.
I know.
Success of Apex will only drive the Titanfall 3 through the roof, and so even though Titanfall came before Apex, but Apex brought a lot more people over the Titanfall 2, believe it or not. When Apex was popular,
it made sense for me to think that like EA would sort of embrace or use Apex as their gateway for Titanfall. Like Titanfall would be what to EA is what Call of Duty is for Activision, because Call of Warzone is basically like their like gateway drug. Okay, you play Warzone free for all. Okay, now this is the actual game. Well, if the Warzone is this good, let me actually play the actual game. So it's sort of they feed back to one another. It's like a feedback loop, right? So you have the same thing with Apex and Titanfall in the same universe. It would have made more sense to me from a business standpoint for EA to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and like. We're not going to stop Battlefield, but we're really going to push the whole Titanfall franchise and try to make it what it is, what Call of Duty is for Activision.
But they screwed up on that Battlefield thing on their own. But I do agree with your take on the residual effect, because in my opinion, I had said this before Elden Ring dropped. I think that the game was going to sell a lot more, primarily because the gateway for that was Demon Souls remake. And with people having bought that game and never played Souls games before and got a chance to see how they were, I kind of figured it was going to have an effect on Elden Ring, especially with it being more inclusive for most gamers. And sure enough did well. So no, I agree with you. I think that each game does have an effect from other types of games. I agree.
Yeah, and Elden Ring is going to have even that much more success on the next game that From Software brings out, because people are willing to try it because more people tried Elden Ring. So their next game is automatically going to come out hotter out of the gate.
Yeah, 100%.
My question is, has Call of Duty sort of painted themselves into a corner in the sense that, like, okay, they've got the future war, they got the current war, they got World War II. Where would they go to really shock the franchise?
It's a great question. I think the first thing they need to do is put the franchise to bed from a campaign perspective for a couple of years. They could just carry on with the multiplayer for the time being and do the Warzone and just let the story make the game longer, make the missions a little more memorable, make the graphic fidelity as high as it possibly can be, that sort of stuff.
And if they do that, depending on whatever war they go to, be it World War One, World War Two, or heck, Vietnam's never been
The
really
Civil
touched.
War.
The Civil, yeah, Civil War.
What about a post-apocalyptic
The-
Call of Duty where
the-
basically
the-
we're
the-
going through a world
Post-apocalyptic.
war, the world is wiped out, and you basically got a bunch of ragtag, commandos, trying to fight to restore order amongst the
Well, yeah,
vigilantes.
but-
and
but-
I'm gonna tell you this one
Well,
thing real
let me
quick.
finish my thought real quick. Let
Yeah,
me
good,
finish
good.
my thought real quick. All I'm
Go ahead.
saying is, whatever time period, let the weaponry stick to it. Let it be true to the time period. Don't do none of this. World War One, but here we're gonna have a night scope
Yeah.
with 8 times. Like, stop that shit.
Right, right.
I would say instead of like even
World War
doing-
One, but we're calling down aerial strikes with laser guided missiles.
one concept that they have not looked into was the whole Cold War. Yeah, true enough, there was no major like big world war
Events.
associated
Yeah.
with the Cold War, but like they had small, like you had the Bay of Pigs invasion. You could do that. You could do the Korean conflict, which was basically the same thing with.
I was thinking about the
Cold
Korean
War.
conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the reason
Vietnam's another one too, though.
I think part of the reason they steer away from that, killing Nazis is okay, but when you start getting into some of the other stuff, I think that the backlash might be a little off the wall.
Paul,
agree
you
with
nailed
it.
it.
Why don't they do a
You nailed it.
campaign like call it Call of Duty
Yeah.
Rambo?
Yeah.
They do a Call of Duty game that's Rambo. What do you think?
Yeah, no, Paul, you're right about that, because if you get into the nuts and bolts of certain conflicts, our country
Yeah.
was in the wrong, and so to
Yeah.
play in that war, it would be you're 100% right with that one. You're 100% right.
you see,
So
that's
I think
what
you
I'm
would have to
talking
be
about.
careful.
Or
Yeah,
even if you go, they're even careful when they do the Middle Eastern stuff to make sure
Right.
that it's no localized. Oh, this is Iran, this is Iraq, this is
Right,
because they don't want to offend anybody, and rightfully so.
right,
Or-
right.
Well, they really didn't give a damn about offending a bunch of Russians when they had you mow them down in an airport.
Yeah, but they were Russians though. No, one thing I was going to say was your idea with the Wasteland Noof. One thing you got to be careful with Call of Duty fans. They are you want to talk about Halo fans being purists? Call of Duty fans are real freaking purists. My buddy wouldn't play Infinite just because it was future setting. He was like, no, I don't like that. I don't want that for the series. So you would have to be really, really careful when it comes to
post-apocalyptic is
I actually
straddling
like
the
your
line
idea,
because
though.
post-apocalyptic could be like after the nukes go, so resources are low. You're still using real-world weapons. You'd still have real-world vehicles, but resources would be low. Of course, people would be fighting for power because there'd be no organized regime. So maybe you're going around scrounging to pick up the latest military weapons or whatever's left.
It's like
you know
Metro.
what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
you got,
Metro.
gangs.
Metro's a great series.
Yeah. And then you get your gangs, and then you got, so you're not just constantly just going from whatever.
Right.
Maybe even if they got to make it a bit more of an open world, sort of like Rage.
Right. Oh, listen, I don't disagree with you. I like the idea. I'm just saying the purists, they would have a problem
of course,
with it.
they rip it apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to do Call of Duty Ukraine, where you're a Russian soldier. You go in, you have
Ukraine.
Yeah.
you have 3 guns.
Ain't happening
and
in
you-
your lifetime. Okay, I'm just telling you right now.
You have 3 guns. You have 3 guns. You have 3 canisters of ammo, and then you shoot it. And once it's gone, you have to wait for 2 weeks for resupplies. So
Call of Duty Gang Wars, where it's all about the fucking drug trade and the gangs.
I'm sure they tried that. Remember with the no, that's Battlefield. They were with Hardline. Yeah.
Hardline, yeah. That was actually a pretty good game.
I was gonna say I've talked to a lot of
I
people
like that
that
game.
has a cult following, and people are like, "No, it was a good game."
I would love to play a game I would love to play a Call of Duty game based on like Inglorious Bastards, where you're like this small special ops team that's going in and like shaving Nazis' heads and stuff like that. That would be cool.
How about a Call of Duty game featuring midgets and you're just shooting everybody in the dick?
Or punching them in the dick.
Headshot.
But as weird as it sounds, like I said, everybody seems to be okay when it's based on World War II because it's the evil, nasty Nazis.
Yeah.
But when you start going into some of the areas, it gets a little gray as far as
I'm just sick of World War II and World War One and Two.
Yeah.
I'm really sick of that. I'm tired of the movies. I'm tired of the games. Listen, I know everyone hasn't seen it or heard that much when it comes to that war, but I have, and I'm just like drained with the whole World War I and II thing.
Well, see, and I won't say I'm a war buff, but I do watch a lot of World War II stuff, especially. And
I think that was my problem too. Yeah.
I like
Bosnia, Afghanistan, Vietnam. You know, there's a lot of places where there's shit about tons of war. Somalia, you name it.
Somalia, yep. I was going to say Black Hawk Down.
But again, those are you start talking about certain tribes or groups of people and how they're represented in the game, and then you have another issue.
And like I said too, about our country not belonging in certain areas and certain conflicts. You know, you couldn't hit the Iran-Contra scandal even a little bit. It would actually be a good story because of the fact that our country had funded them and gave them weapons, but would people be able to stomach it though? That's the point.
Yeah, you can't do a Call of Duty with a Canadian in the role because he'd be shooting people and apologizing for it. Oh shit! Let me bandage that up for you, man. I'll call 911.
Sorry about that.
The main emote would be, "I'm sorry, eh? Sorry, eh?"
Exactly.
The A team. Oh shit!
And see, Vic has a point too. You know, make up which some games have done. They make up the country name and they try to make it not look localized in any way, shape, or form. You know,
Spec Ops the Line. It's like Spec Ops the Line was all that,
right?
But anyway, so how do you guys feel? You think from what you read or what you've seen that reviews seem to be more or less accurate? Do you think Call of Duty literally is finally losing its luster, and maybe it's hard to impress people anymore? I mean, like you said, guys, you all said, and I've seen the videos, I've seen what people put, and the graphics are downright. They may be the most impressive graphics so far this gen. Like they are really on point.
We know only for a handful of hardcore gamers has Call of Duty lost its luster. For the general public, it's gonna sell like hotcakes, you know, because as y'all said, there's some people that's the only game they play all year. And
I think it is good. I think it is good that it's dropping to every other year instead of every year. I think that will help because then you're not getting that just always something new, always some of the more of the same. Kind of like those of us who've always said that things like Madden and NBA, instead of doing a new game every year, they need to just start doing they should just start doing
Assassin's Creed off the shelf for a year. People actually got a little bit excited for again, right?
That is true.
That goes for any franchise. The longer you wait for something, the more excited you get. But if you're going to get them all the time, that's why nobody people buy Madden and NBA. But really, when was the last time anybody got fucking downright stupid excited for a sports game? But you don't because it's just you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the way any game that comes up with an annual rendition. It's got you're going to change this, you're going to change that, but it's largely going to be the same game, more or less.
Yep. And in the real part, it's usually stuff that could be done in a patch or DLC. Player names, hell, they don't even change the year.
But you're talking about them giving a rest for a break year. My only concern is this, and it's true. Call of Duty is bigger than Microsoft, bigger than Activision. It is it's a money generator. And a lot of businesses rely on Call of Duty for that Christmas push.
But the only reason that it gets bought every year is the same reason that people buy Madden every year, because one of their friends buys the new one. Well, if you want to play with your friend, you've got to buy the new one. Same thing with Call of Duty, same thing with NBA. It's a domino effect that is not really interested in the game per se, I don't think, as much as it is, well, if I want to play with you, I got to have the same version you have.
But you got other corporations who's got their hand in the pot. They're like, well, we need something.
What other corporations? The NFL doesn't need the money. They like the money, but they don't need the money. You know,
all of these retailers are selling these games and stuff. I hate to say it, but GameStop would be upset with.
GameStop is on its last wind anyway. I think, unless they figure something out. But
it's nothing. It's nothing they could do if This is what you decided to do. Because remember, for Xbox, it's going to go on Game Pass. And the only thing Microsoft wants is content. It's not going to necessarily worry too much about sales. I'm not saying they ain't going to worry about sales at all, but for them, it's going to be about content. And you have 3 studios that help with Call of Duty. They can work on different games. They've been itching to work on different games.
Yeah.
And so now you got to listen. You got Toys for Bob helping out with that game.
Yeah,
You got freaking Toys for Bob helping out.
Yeah.
So you get them to make a kid game for you. It covers all your bases in your portfolio. But I understand.
And real quick, Vic brings up a point. Call of Duty has Warzone, which is a service game, and they make money regardless because of season passes and stuff.
Fact.
So it doesn't hurt them to take a year off because people are still going to buy. As long as you keep offering little content and those season passes, people are still going to bite.
There's got to be a year of there's got to be a year of season pass and then a year of actual game, because it's really hard pressed for me to believe that people are just going to say, yeah, we're just going to bite the bullet and let it rest for 1 year. That's a lot.
No, I do agree with you too. I do agree with you with that too, though.
Yeah. So.
Just giving a different perspective, but I agree with you with that.
But also going from every year, now they don't have to try to come up with a campaign for every year. Which that's part of the problem too, is there's only so many stories to tell, and if you don't really have time to flesh things out or work on things, if you're doing it for every even though there's multiple studios, they still have to talk to each other. Well, what are you doing? Well, what are you doing?
Right. I mean, think about it. We still don't have a kids game or a family game on Xbox, and Toys for Bob would easily fill that with making it. I know you guys love Banjo. I can't stand it, but whatever. But they can make a Banjo game. They can make a Banjo game, and so that will make a lot of people happy. So you get to divvy that money up differently. With letting all 3 of those other studios work on different IPs as opposed to just working on one. Hey, did you see how much Sony pays in advertisement? I think it's like over $350 million. I was like, well, if you don't have to worry about it no more, at least you can save that and make another game with it or something.
Exactly.
If I was Banjo, I'd be jealous because the bird in his bag is bigger than the one in his pants.
Okay. I had a crush on Banjo's sister, full disclosure. But then again, that's not you.
Yeah, but you were a furry though back then, so.
I'm a furry. No, he's talking about last week. He's talking about last week, guys.
He said last week.
Last week, I was talking about yesterday. Shit.
With that noise.
Keep going, Doof. I'm almost there. Keep going, Doof. I'm almost there. Keep going.
He said, I'm almost there.
That's right, baby. Talk to me like you want it.
Wize Old Gamer when it has dreams tonight.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm not gonna have dreams. I'm not gonna have a dream about it all right now because I'm already done with what I needed.
Oh.
I now need to go clean my.
He's gonna record the show and put it on loop.
No, now I need to go clean my keyboard. I need some.
Dude, I don't even remember what Kazooie sounds like. It just kind of squawks. And I was like,
I forgot. Yeah.
Banjo just sounds like sort of like Goofy, really.
He does. Yeah.
Okay. Vic said, "Do the bird." Here you go. Here you go.
The bird. The bird. Oh man, shit. As we're nearing the end of the show, I think we can pretty much wrap up the whole conversation. I certainly hope the new Call of Duty, like I said, does well. And as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it will do extremely well. From all indications, it sounds like it's kind of back on par, where for a few years, the franchise looked like it was finally starting to falter and go downhill. But this one may certainly rejuvenate the series a little bit. Looks like people are already talking about it, buzzing about it, pre-ordering it. And like I said, Call of Duty is just a juggernaut. There's no stopping it. It's just that game. Love it or hate it, it is what it is. It's just, again, that game. Um, this is basically our final show, not final show ever, but it's our basically last show before Halloween. So I thought I would do a little fun one. I didn't plan this. And same thing for the chat. I'm going to talk to the panel and our esteemed guest, Mr. Bushido. What's your favorite Halloween-based movie or horror movie of all time? And favorite horror game, if you guys have one. Let's start with Cerebral Paul. I bet you his vocabulary and this goes way back a ways.
And for favorite horror movie, always my number one favorite horror movie is the first, or not the first slasher, but the first one that made it really popular, Halloween. You know, the 1978 John Carpenter deal. And today is the 48th anniversary of the release of Halloween, by the way. So funny you should bring that up. But yeah, that will always be my number one favorite. I just think it's so well done. It's sometimes it's better to not try to over-explain the evil, just that evil is, you know,
Facts.
which is
Yeah.
And anytime they try to over-explain Michael, they break it. So just leave it the way it is. He's just evil. He's darkness. That's it. Boom, done. Game. I like so many scary games. It's not even funny. But yeah, let's see. I think the most intense game I've ever played was the first time I played one of the Resident Evils, and I had all the lights off, and I had a beautiful surround system with the sound turned up. I was on the edge of my seat the whole damn time. So yeah. More recently, Alien Isolation. If you've never played that game,
Good one.
Throw on some headsets and play that game. If you're not nervous playing that game, you ain't paying attention.
Check your heartbeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there you go. Those my
nice picks from Cerebral Paul. There you go, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Halloween, Alien Isolation, great picks. And you like the original Halloween, obviously.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we're gonna get some different ones on this. Yeah. So my buddy Seamus, he said his favorite scary game was Dead Space. It freaked him out. Well, we got good news for you, Seamus. Yep. The remake is coming out to that game, and it looks better and sounds scarier than ever before. The remake and the Callisto Protocol. That's looking nuts.
I was going to say Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those.
I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of like seeing how they market a game. Like I think if you market a game correctly, it can elevate it to another level. Like remember like the original Gears of War, and they had that get that music playing in the background. The name of the song escapes me right now. Mad World, you know, and it took that and it took the game to another level, right? So the reason I like Dead Space is because they had that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star playing in the background, the original Dead Space when they were advertising. That shit was so fucking creepy, you know. I love it, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, since you're powdering in, Wize Old Gamer, what's your picks? Favorite horror movie and game?
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Nice.
3, 4. No,
but
actually,
not the remake. The remake was absolute shit.
No, actually, Nightmare on Elm Street is not mine. I'm gonna go way back. I'm going to go to Night of the Living Dead, the colorized version, the color version that they released in '86. Mainly because it was scary for like when I was like 10, 12 at the time, and to see like these corpses actually coming out of the graves, and you know, it was like I don't want to say it was like it didn't. Okay, a guy in your dreams killing you, that seemed kind of implausible, but this had like, okay, maybe it's still possible for those things to move around, you know? So yeah, it really creeped me out. And then they took it to a whole nother level by saying, hey, you know, the conflict is not these freaking zombies. The conflict is all these people around, the survivors, you know? So I think that movie was phenomenally done. And the original Scream, when they took all of those old horror tropes and basically turned them on their head and started making fun of them, you know? Oh my God, you know, you say, I'll be back, you're going to be the next one killed and all that stuff. I love that, you know? So those would be my two picks for the movies for Halloween. Games-wise, Silent Hill 2. Shit, if my dead wife writes a letter to me that she's living in a fucking city, she could stay there. That's okay. Her ass can stay there. I'll say, hey, you want the kids too? I'll go ahead and send them as well. But the whole premise of Silent Hill 2 was so fucking creepy that you have this guy he's lost his wife, and he all of a sudden she gets a letter and he has to go. He's just basically motivated to go, and it was just really good. So, and I liked it because they used the limitation of the hardware to their advantage. They put a lot of fog because they couldn't render out that far, and it was just off. I just loved it. That was my favorite. So.
Very
and I'm
nice.
happy they're making a remake, so I'm looking forward to it.
Nice picks. All right, let's get down to Mr. Bushido. We got some great ones in the chat here as well.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm looking at some of them too. Yeah, Dark Praxis has one of mine in there. Cerebral Paul stole one of mine. I am a huge Halloween fan. Like, I love the series. I even like the Rob Zombie version. I thought this was really good.
Him now. Just block him now. Okay, that's absolute shit.
That was pretty good.
That was absolute
So anyway,
shit. Yeah, you know what? It would have been a good movie if it didn't say Halloween. That's the way I feel about it. He didn't call the Michael Myers because he threw in every redneck trash trope for why he's a killer. That's what I said. Too much of that shit breaks the character. And
I could hear
Rob
that.
Zombie grabbed them all. Okay, daddy's an abusive drunk. They're poor. They're ghetto. Kid kills everything in his sight and buries shit in his backyard. It's like, what the fuck?
Sounds like Jeffrey Dahmer.
right. That's why I thought he hit a good note with that one. All right, so I got I'm gonna make it quick because I got a few of them. I am a big sci-fi horror fan. Aliens. The Thing is a freaking classic. I had a buddy of mine, never seen it, like 15 years ago. Never seen it.
Wait, the original or the remake?
Listen, the original was good, sequel. Actually. The sequel, though. Now, he never saw it. I had him over. I had a huge screen TV. I don't have TV that big anymore. A 70-inch projection screen. And my man was shook daddy watching that movie. I said, yo, this movie's so old, but it doesn't do anything to me. But to him, this is the first time seeing it. It was creepy, he said. But I love that movie. What's another one? Alien.
The original Alien to me is
the original was scary.
Aliens I consider more action adventure.
Right.
Still scary, but
it still was, right. But Alien itself, that one was unsettling. Yeah, that was unsettling. Yeah. Because remember it's the first time you saw anything like that. So
in space, no one can hear you scream. I remember those ads, man. I mean,
the first time I saw Freddy.
Yeah, a lot of audio scares in the original Alien because you didn't get a good glimpse of the alien for well into the movie.
That's the whole point.
That's a lot of it, right? That's what ruins a lot of sequels.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
You know, when sequels come out, you sort of know what to expect, and already that suspense is gone.
Right.
You know?
I'll tell you.
That's why the monster
really does. Seeing the monster
worse.
hurts. Seeing the monster hurts any horror movie. That's why if somebody made a horror movie and I could barely see the monster even all the way to the end, I'm all right with that because it still gives me my imagination to view what this creepy, scary thing looks like.
That's why Jaws works so well. You actually don't see
Jaws
the shark much.
Jaws is GOAT.
Yeah.
Jaws is goated. But
even though that was never his intent. But because of the problems they had, they ended up not showing the shark until the last 30 minutes.
Listen, I'm still scared of the ocean to this day just because of that movie, man.
In
the 70s.
But you know, the funniest was
70s.
this. The funniest whole thing about the whole Jaws series was this. It was written by the book. There were books on it, and they were written by this guy, right? And in the 70s, eventually he made these movies, or he signed off for these movies, and these movies came out. Then all of a sudden, everyone hated sharks. People were hunting down sharks. A good shark. Then he comes out himself and says, "Hey, wait a minute, we need to save the shark." I'm like, "What the fuck? You just told me it's not the good. What the hell? Sacrilege."
Basically,
like you're the one reason.
I'm gonna give you a couple games too. Outlast is a scary freaking game. I don't care what anybody says. You can play it to this very day, and it's still scary. The Evil Within series is good. Resident Evil.
Better than one. Well, I've heard.
Yes. 2 is better than 1. Yeah,
I've heard the story in 1 is better, but the mechanics in 2 are better. So
And I'm with you with Alien Isolation. I'm telling you, I actually stopped playing the game because I had headphones on, and it really makes you feel isolated.
Yeah.
It really puts you in a mode of it's just me and this thing. And if he catches me, I'm done. Like you really feel it. The other one is Dead Space 2. Not Dead Space 2, but Dead Space also. Dead Space to me, even though it was cheap jump scares,
Yeah.
it still worked for it though. It just worked for the series. I really like that. So I can't wait to play the remake. I mean, literally can't wait.
I'll tell you a game everyone's forgotten about. Condemned on the 360.
I love Condemned.
I didn't like Condemned. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Scary as fuck. I mean, it was like all dark and basically, and I'll give you another one. And it wasn't really a horror game or anything, but I really like the scenarios. Twisted Metal Black. Those little introductions and then the ends. I mean, the game itself wasn't scary, right? But those introductions with all these perverted, weird characters, and then how they ended up. That sort of like played psychologically with your mind, you know. So.
Yeah.
Now you want to talk about when to play with your mind. There's that game with the killer that was he had the scissors. It was Clockwork something.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was
Clockwork
game.
Orange.
Yeah, it was creepy because you never knew every time you open that door if he was gonna be there, and you open the door and you hear him making that noise and the scissors going. Like back then, that scared the life out of me.
Yep. Yeah. By the way, honorable mention, because somebody mentioned they like Carpenter movies. John Carpenter's Vampires. It's such a well done movie. I really enjoy that movie.
Has anyone ever seen that movie? It came out several years ago. It was with Samuel Jackson and John Cusack called Room 1408.
I've heard about that one.
Yep.
I've heard that one.
It's not scary, but if you've not seen it, you definitely need to see it. I'm not a big fan of like jump scares; those are fine. But I like psychological type horrors and stuff like that. And
you're a rated PG guy. Okay, yeah, you're no fun.
Okay, not PG-13. He said PG.
Nice.
Well, and that fits the post I made last night, where that slasher flicks should not be rated. Could never be rated PG-13 because at that point they're psychological thrillers. Okay, and it's not. That's no fun to read.
I never really like slasher movies. Yeah, it just was cheap to me.
I admit, especially when they use practical effects, I love shit that blows up, man.
Gotcha.
Oh, look at all that blood. Look at that guy. Chrome Skull. I love Chrome Skull. I love Art the Clown. I cannot wait to watch that movie on Halloween Terrifier 2. What? I should just, even though I can't show the film, I should just, stream myself watching it. You can see if I throw up. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that's awesome. We did a little bit of Manhunt earlier today on Retro Renegades, actually. That was
The Conjuring was pretty good as well. The Conjuring, the original.
And Stephen King, for the most part, does not make good movies, but yes, those were pretty decent.
Pet Cemetery, the original Pet Cemetery. That little fucking boy when he comes back from the grave, the OG. Yeah. I play with mommy. I play with him. I want to play with you.
The remake was awful. I hated the remake.
Fuck the remake. I'm talking about the OG remake. Pet Cemetery with Gage. Oh shit, that was creepy. Yeah.
Okay. As for myself,
Reanimator is awesome. If you've never watched.
As for myself, I'll say going back to my childhood. I meing, the one that always really scared me was obviously the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep, me too.
Just the thought of closing your eyes.
Sleep for days. Yep.
Right? That left psychological horrors on a lot of us back then. Holy shit.
Yes, sir.
And of course, again, it was well done. The first movie didn't overdo Freddy too much. They kind of kept him a little bit back in the shadows a little bit, and as the sequels went on, he kind of got sillier. Where it's he started.
But see, I like the later Freddy movies where he actually got the little one-liners, because to me that was kind of fun.
We knew what to expect by then.
How far could they push it? On the scary side, because like you said, for a sequel, what's going on. So
not the latest Nightmare on Elm Street, but the one that John
Carpenter, the remake,
the new Nightmare, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I like New Nightmare was actually,
but that was still done that was a John Carpenter, and still had Robert Englund.
Well, Wes Craven. That was Wes Craven.
Oh, sorry, Wes Craven. Yes.
That was where it brought it into the real world. It was kind of they played played versions of themselves, which I really thought was cool.
I used to like those.
You're right, though. The first one was really scary for the first time seeing it. That one, it kept me up for a week.
I used to like those slasher movies because my dad would actually let me rent it from Blockbuster, and that's when I could actually see a sex scene without going to Cinemax and seeing all that wavy shit, you know. So hey, that was my porn because all those slasher movies had it. So.
And you know, and Wize Old Gamer kind of took one of my new ones. I really love the Conjuring. I thought that series is really well done, especially the first movie. I thought was just super creepy and well done. I thought that was really cool. And as far as games, there's so many of them, you know. But one game I liked in particular, I think it was very well done. I think it was still the best effort so far by the studio, and that was Until Dawn. Love that game.
Gotcha.
I need to play that, but that's on.
It's their original game that studio did. Supermassive. Is it Supermassive?
Yeah,
Supermassive.
They've done
the same group that does all the ones that I like, the anthology series stuff where you can choose
House of Ashes. That actually was good.
But you could tell that Until Dawn they had a bigger production budget and you know, like there was a lot of stuff in that game, and obviously it's based on the story of the Wendigo, and just an amazing game. It was well done. I didn't realize it at the time, but actually it was what's his name, Rami Malek is one of the lead characters in that game.
Oh yeah, Rami Malek. Yeah, that's right.
And I had no idea until like a couple of years later. I go back because I didn't really know who Rami Malek was, and I was like, oh shit, like, he's in this game and his likeness is there, and so that's cool, really cool, right? And it just played out really good, and knowing there was like actual, I guess not just the horror side, but knowing like those games where there's always something at stake, and you're like, you got to make that split second decision, and you kind of wonder how's this going to play out later on. You're trying to save everybody, but you're kind of going, man, maybe I can't, you know. And it really kind of brings you into a real world scenario where you start asking yourself, what if I was in that scenario? What would I do? Like, who am I going to give up? Right? You know what I mean? I kind of like that, even though they don't play it like in traditional games for the most part, but that one did have quite a bit of gameplay in it itself, and that's sort of good. Like, I don't like when it's too much point and click or whatever, but that one had quite a bit of, you know, investigating the you know, the environments and moving around and stuff like that, and you got to do a little bit of actual shooting and different things in it as well. So that was pretty cool. You know, some of the Resident Evil games obviously are amazing. Even the new ones are awesome. Maybe not super scary, but I can tell you this much: they are freaking really scary when you play shit in VR. Like, I have the PlayStation VR, and I played Paranormal Activity on it. Holy shit, is all I got to say.
Yeah.
Did you everything in VR, man? I'm telling you, horror games are on another level in VR.
You know, they were people shit on the original Resident Evil when it first came out for the PlayStation, but for what technology they had, it was an exceptionally well-made game. Yeah, it had tank controls.
I agree.
But it worked for the time. I mean, like when you walked into that room and you saw that first zombie look up at you, that shit was scary. And then you couldn't just get away easily either because you had to, you know, sort of position
the controls were scary because you're like, if you turn the wrong way, you're facing the wrong fucking direction.
Right into it. Yep.
Up is going back and back is going up, and your dude's like click, 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 and then you have to hold the button to bring up your arms to shoot, you know? Yeah, you better hope, because there was no aiming reticles. You had to hope you were aiming at them.
Yes, right.
But it worked for the time because, you know, you sort of felt helpless, you know, like
you did, yeah.
You know, so it achieved what it wanted to achieve, so it did well. So Code Veronica, of course, is what was well too.
I'm just curious, do any of you guys have any plans for this year Halloween? Do you guys like? Do you? I mean, most of us, I assume at this point, we don't go out trick or treating, but do you kind of take your kids out, or do you kind of do parties, or do you do special things?
I like to watch marathons. I like watching marathons.
I go
whatever marathon is on.
Yep, I will be.
What are you going trick or treating for? Viagra?
No, I'm hoping. I'm hoping when I go up to one of the houses that the woman is alone because the kids are gone, so I can come in and say, "Hey, I don't want a treat, I want a trick." So
now I got to find myself a big. I got to find a big bear costume now and get myself a banjo.
Well, I go dressed up like myself. They ask me, what are you? They say, I go dressed up like myself, and they say, what are you supposed to be? I say, a math teacher. They're like, shit, take the candy and get the fuck out. So I'm like, okay.
Something doesn't add up here, math teacher.
But yeah,
Me, I'm just gonna like same as him. I'm probably just gonna watch some a marathon, but I am gonna be watching Terrifier 2 because it goes to streaming that night.
Nice.
So, and I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. So, who knows?
yeah. Do you, I mean, what? None of y'all party? Go have like a Halloween party or a costume party?
I
or anything you go to?
I don't live in where primarily where my social circle is. So no, not me. So
Oh, okay.
But what about you, Wize Old?
Well, I mean, like this year we don't have anything going on this year, but like every other year we usually have this massive party. Somebody in the neighborhood does it, and like the kids go trick or treating, and all the parents go there and get fucking wasted. So it's pretty cool.
part of it is Halloween. This week is this month. It's this year is on a Monday, so I think that dampens some of that stuff. But
Yeah, it's a school night, so you sort of have to, yeah.
Mm.
But what about you in Canada? How big is Halloween in Canada?
it's the one day of the year that Noof can go out without a mask on. So
That's a good one, Paul.
Yeah, I do the same shit up here, man. I mean, obviously, it's been a while since I actually hosted a Halloween parties. My buddy Seamus is there. We had a couple parties a few years ago, and they were really, really good. But it's been a while since I kind of went out and done anything extravagant. Normally, I generally like much like Paul. I'll watch a few of my favorite movies, go back and watch some really good ones or a new one that I haven't seen. But generally, I do a little bit of a marathon. A lot of times, I'll stream a game, perhaps something that I like a horror movie, or a game that I like, maybe a stream. And generally, we moved into a new house 2 years ago up in LA. We were in a condo, and it was like one of those gated condos kind of thing. So like the access to the building was restricted, so we never had kids for Halloween, right? So now that we're in a house, like last year, I think we had close to 100 kids go by here. It was crazy. And so I sat out on last year I dressed up as the guy from Scary Movie, the dude with the tongue hanging out or whatever the fuck his name was.
Ghostface.
Yeah, I dressed up as him last year and sat on the porch giving out candies. And the year before that, I just kind of sat up my stormtrooper shit and handed out candy. So yeah.
I almost got in trouble one year because some of these kids came to our house for trick-or-treating and there was like, your princesses and your superheroes and stuff. Then there was this one kid, like he had this like one-piece outfit on, like it was like a little plastic outfit. I think they sell them at these Halloween stores,
You mean One Piece like the anime, or
no, like one piece, like it was just like one fitted. They call it.
Okay.
Yeah,
like a jumper or something.
Yeah, and no, it was like one. It covered for him from head to toe, and it was covered, and he was covered totally in black. And I looked at him, and my wife was standing there, and I was like, okay, so I know this is a princess, this is Optimus Prime. What is he, S&M? And the parents were standing outside.
Dude.
That was brilliant for you to say that. Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, those parents don't.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have. Yeah.
Well,
I would have never said that.
It's hell not having a filter.
I thought you were gonna say the kid was gonna rob you.
No. It was like I looked at
Say, run them pockets, old man.
I wanted to tell her. I said, make sure my costume is still in the bedroom. I think he stole it. So.
Oh,
Nice.
It's amazing you're still a teacher and don't have to put a sign in your yard.
Hey, that goes to show you how desperate they are for math teachers, right?
Yeah.
Using me.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Just before we bring in the final segment of the night, the Ask Questions for Cletus and Safe House Sam, which I know a few of you guys have desperately waited for. Now it is time to announce our newest panel member of Gaming After Dark, and he will start in November. So the first Tuesday of November, we'll have our official new panel member replacing Sir X-Man. And if you haven't guessed by now, he is in the chat at the moment. It's the one, the only, the master of the questions himself, Mr. Darth Praxis. Congratulations, Darth Praxis, newest member of Gaming After Dark. We are excited to have him come on board. I've had Darth here on my show in the past. I've seen him on multiple podcasts. I played games with him. He is a very funny guy. He does some great voice work as well. So I got a funny feeling that the impressions and voices on Gaming After Dark are only going to go through the roof. Should be.
I told you,
I just hope-
Nuke, when I casted my vote, and I said no. I told you if you do that, I'm leaving. So I'd like to thank everybody for.
I just hope that he can
You're in a
outtalk,
wheelchair.
overtalk.
You're in a wheelchair. Your ass ain't going anywhere. So
Hey, listen, I just need him to be able to overtalk Wize. That's it. Anything outside of that, that's just icing on the cake. But if he can stay on top of Wize, man, you got yourself a fan for life watching the show. I mean, I'm a big fan of News anyway, but if he could do that, man, I'm gonna be his number one fan.
Absolutely. No, we got a great panel here, and this is a show that's definitely different than the average.
Do you commonly make yourself fans of other men?
Well, it depends on their work,
Or if they put in work with you.
Do what I do, Bushido. Just tell him to shut up, okay?
Listen, I worked with Wize before, so yeah, I'm with you with that. I got you.
Oh man. Well, I appreciate those kind words, Bushido. Appreciate that, my friend. And great show tonight. Before we close out, obviously get your questions ready now for Safe House Sam and Cletus. They are on standby before we close her down. So once again, congratulations, Dark Practice. Looks forward to having you on the panel and on the podcast during the first week of November. Can't even tell you off what day that will be.
Next week. That's next week. Okay, that's the first.
Oh yeah, that is
that's
next week.
Tuesday.
Oh wow!
God damn.
Yeah, that's the
next week. Oh wow! I thought we had more weeks in the month. God damn!
I thought we had another week too.
Yeah.
Oh my
god! It is next week.
Hell no!
The next
Hell
week.
fucking no! The bill's got to get paid. I need that first of the month check.
I hear you with that. I hear you.
Absolutely, Bill's got to get paid. All right, there you go.
God.
So it looks like next week, unless Darth informs me otherwise. So I think he said he was good to go first week of November. So there you go. Next week, November the 1st. Yes, congratulations. Anyway, we have Safe House and Cletus on standby. Who has got a question for these two gentlemen? It looks like Safe House is definitely chomping at the bit since it is coming close to Halloween, one of his favorite times of the year.
Hey, Safe House. Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
Hey, Safe House. Now that it's Halloween, how are you going to wear your strap on this year?
Yeah, baby. What is going on, people? The Safe House Sam in the building, fucking yeah. We just a few days up from Halloween. It is one of my favorite times of the year because it's a time when the ugly people get pretty and the pretty people get fucking ugly. And let me tell you, we got Halloween 365 days a year because all you got to do is go down to your local Walmart and I guarantee you there's some scary shit down there, motherfucker. Yeah. Absolutely. What am I going to do with my strap on? I am going to turn that sumbitch upside down, inside out. I am going to stick it down your throat, Wize Old Gamer. God damn you, sumbitch, you cock ass motherfucker. Yeah, I am rowdy. I am ready to go, baby. Yeah, I ain't dressing up for nothing this hell. I dress up at Safe House fucking Sam. I wear the big sign outside my door, and kids, as soon as they hear my fucking crusty ass smoking 10 packs a day cigarette motherfucking voice, they just running for the fucking hills, baby. They ain't coming close up in there because they can smell the ranch up in here. Yeah, baby. Sometimes I don't clean my ass for days. It's the perfect lick a lot of puss kind of fucking tasty wasty. Yeah, we ready to roll, baby.
How's that different than what you do with Cerebral Paul every week? You said you're gonna shove it down my throat, but you shove it down his throat every week. What's the difference?
Cerebral Paul, you got a small throat, baby. Yeah, I can tickle his tonsils with that motherfucker. Yeah, over there, yeah, that's right. I roll you down the street, baby. I give you something good to eat. Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Yeah, next time you ignore that restraining order, you won't be going back home. Okay, I'm just.
Come on now, boy. You got been.
I got a casket in my yard that's waiting for you. So
I've been waiting, baby. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, I see lots of smiling faces. What the fuck you smiling about, cog aces? All right. And no, John 907, we don't have a Halloween show next week because we ain't having a show on Halloween. I think the show falls on what? Next week is Monday. Or no, that's on a Tuesday, which is the 1st. Last time I checked, November 1st ain't fucking Halloween. Unless you want to be eating trick-or-treating the next day after. But that's not quite right. Well, you got to put away the silliness in the costumes. My costume's on all day. Yeah,
No,
oh yeah,
yeah.
baby, you know what I'm saying?
Trick or treating the day after is a good way to get a restraining order and a sign you have to put on your yard.
Yeah, I go up to the doors. That's the best time. You ain't got any fucking thing left up in there. Sometimes you get some candy. Sometimes you get a slap in the goddamn face. You know what I used to do when I was young? I used to pull the doorknob out of the fucking. I used to pull the doorknob out of that fucking door in the house, and I used to paint my dick, and I'd stick it up to the hole, and I'd say, "Pull the knob for some fucking treats, baby." Let me tell you, it didn't go over with a whole lot of kids in the neighborhood.
I got a question. I got a question for Cletus.
Yeah.
Hey, Cletus, what for Halloween? What candy are you going to give your kids?
Well, you got to be careful because most of my kids are like me. They got no teeth, right? So I got to be careful what I'm going to give the kids. So I usually tries to avoid some of them molasses fucking candies, whatever the hell they is, because they're fucking sticky as motherfucker. They fucking sticky as fucking like grandmammy's fucking pussy when you're going down deep. You know what I'm saying? Like they all jammed up in there. So now I don't eat none of that fucking shit. No, I don't even know what the hell you're eating. I don't even know what the popular candies is anymore because there's all sorts of crazy stuff when I was a kid. Licorice and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes somebody would be nice and put in a little moonshine shot once in a while, but they haven't done that in the days now. You can't, now that everybody gets up and fits a rage if you gets like a needle or something in the candy. My grandmama used to pick over that stuff. She'd take them out, she'd collect them. I think she got about 40 or 50 of them now. She'd make a nice needle collection up there.
I got one more for Safe House. Safe House. Hey, Safe House, is Cerebral Paul a trick or a treat?
God damn it, Wize Old Gamer. You asked some fucking weird ass fucking question, you cock ass. What's your infatuation with Cerebral Paul? What he does with his time or his mouth? I don't know what the fuck that man is. I'd say right now, he's probably a little bit more like a treat because he's treating us to a good fucking show. But if you want to get the trick, I'm pretty sure Paul got some good fucking tricks. And it starts with fucking putting your ass on an umbrella, probably. Yeah.
Any more questions before we wrap it up? Anything from you, Bushido? Or are you just totally lost over there and just like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
Bushido's listened to the show before, I'm sure.
Bushido says, this is where I draw the line. I'm out.
This is the part where I mute the mic and go for a shit.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. You didn't see the message I left for the group chat. That was my bad.
Anybody got any more questions before we wrap this up?
Not me, Ian.
Okay, all right.
Nothing in the chat.
Oh, what's CP dressing up as for? Who's CP? Oh,
Me,
Cerebral
Paul.
Okay.
Oh my God!
What you dressing up as, Paul? Did you say?
Wally.
Professor X.
Wally.
Wow! Wow! It took me a second to catch that one. It took me a second. I was too busy on my Professor X one. Oh man!
Wow.
Y'all ain't getting. Well, no, you are all getting shit for Christmas, okay? And it's gonna be literally you're getting shit for Christmas, okay?
Oh man!
We're putting the reindeer on overtime.
Oh shit!
I would have never saw that coming.
We got another question, and it's coming in via super. Sorry about that, Vic. Let's get over to that one. Let's scroll up here ways. Here we go. Yeah, it comes in via super chat. Vic the Click. Here it is. Read it out, somebody.
Amazing episode, guys. Safe House, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, or Jason. Kill, marry, sex.
God damn.
How about kill them all?
Yeah, man, seriously, why the fuck would I want to do anything with them motherfuckers? They off the top rat, motherfucker. That's right. But they're gonna make a movie about me one of these days, I swear to God. Yeah, baby. I just I haven't done the time because I haven't done the crime. But let me tell you, let me see, that's a real doozy. Let me say they all fucking ugly. First of all, that's the thing you can do. You got two guys wearing masks. One guy fucking needs a mask and don't wear one. So yeah, that's a really fucking tough question. Oh fuck yeah. I think I'd be fucking killing Freddy Krueger. I killed fucking Freddy Krueger simply because that motherfucker, if you piss him off, he probably coming back in your dreams and gonna fucking cut your dick off and choke you with it. And let me see. Probably I have sex with Michael Myers because the motherfucker, he don't fucking say nothing anyway. He just fucking goes around with his white ass mask on. So I just pretend that he's like some of my old hillbilly white chicks that I used to date. You know what I mean? I have sex with Michael Myers. So I guess that means I have to marry fucking Jason. I'm not quite sure why, but up in the Great White North, everybody has an infatuation with the hockey game up here. And he wears a goddamn goalie mask, which means maybe he might save your life, could save you some money, or save you something. I don't fucking know. Maybe spit in a jar, but yeah, you know, I have to marry the guy with the hockey mask because you don't have to look at the motherfucker. Yeah, and you know what? He always come back a lot. No matter what you do with him, he's always there. So yeah, that would be my answer to your amazing question. Thanks for the $5 super chat, Congress.
Well, you know, I mean, Jason, the whole history goes that he only kills those counselors who have sex because he was drowning in the lake while the counselors were having sex. So all he needs is some good sex. And Michael Myers, he's quiet all the time. I would love to marry him because at least he'll be fucking quiet for a change.
See, you got it down pat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Freddy Krueger's the one guy who should wear a mask and he doesn't want to wear one.
Right.
Yeah, how about that?
I wish my wife would stay quiet. So maybe if I marry Michael Myers, you know.
You're gonna be glad your wife never listened to any of the podcast you're on.
Maybe if I put
no, never does.
Maybe if I put a mask on.
Good job.
Camera's on a lot. And we're gonna
Maybe
watch like this thing fly across the room and smack him in the head. Go, yeah, there's you.
So, like, wait a second. I got an idea here. Michael Myers wears a mask. He doesn't say shit. For Jason wears a mask. He doesn't say shit. So I got my I solved my own problem. I'll put a mask on my wife and she'll be quiet.
Yeah, you keep this up. The red dot on your forehead is not going to be a regular one. It's probably going to be a laser sight.
Yeah, I was just knew. Why was I about to say the same freaking thing after you started saying red dot? I was thinking, yeah, that red dot's going to be a laser sight.
That wasn't put there. That's a laser sight, man. You better rub
yeah.
Yeah, I rubbed the damn thing off. I was hoping for a Subway or a gas station. I didn't get shit.
No.
Man, listen. If you heard him on Doomsayers, yeah, he would have been dead a long time ago. Long time ago. If she listened, he'd have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah, she's asleep for this show, so I can say what the hell I want to say.
My wife has already heard me with stuff, and she laughs it off. She knows it's all.
Yeah, so is mine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if she had her own podcast, she'd say nasty ass shit about me. So. Yeah, but anyway, it's time to close the show. We're running overtime, but it's been an absolute dynamite one tonight. A big thank you to everybody that came out in the chat. Too many people here to mention. You know who you are. Thanks again for everything, all the super chats, all the love and support. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and please share this out. You know, my goal is, and I know it's a small goal, but I'd love to see 100 people in this chat at some point. 100 live viewers would do my heart a lot of good. I think it's possible. We've come close at times. You know, and you know, I got like I said, if I was doing as well with my YouTube as I've been doing with the fucking Twitter, which is weird, heck, I'd be laughing, but I don't know why it is. Everybody follows me on Twitter, but nobody wants to hit a subscribe on the fucking YouTube channel. But hey, man, I'm going to quit whining like a little bitch and close the show. On a big thank to my amazing panel as always, but we'll get to our esteemed guest who, again, thank you for being on the show. You were absolutely dynamite tonight. Mr. Bushido, let people know where they can catch up with you when you're not doing guesswork like this. And again, thanks for coming on tonight.
Hey, it was an honor. I am usually on, let's see now, because now they've changed nights. Tomorrow night I will be on all right, Spooky's show is called Backlog Bastards.
Oh, you're going to be there too? Oh, shit.
Yeah, he just revealed to us that he had 2 guests, and I was like, oh, this is Cerebral Paul. Okay, all right. So I'll see you again then. So His show is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Times. On Thursday night, I'm on the KY Bob show, which is called Game Set Live, and that one's on at 9 o'clock. And on Fridays at 6:30, you'll catch me and Wize Old Gamer on the Doom Slayer's Den at 6:30 Eastern Standard Times. It's not one of our best shows, mainly because Wize is on there, but we try to make do
No.
what we
You're
have.
confused. That's in spite of Wize. Okay.
Yeah, in spite of thank you. I appreciate that.
I would say something, but I'm high as fuck.
And also tell KY Bob or KY Gel, as I like to call him.
So do I. My running joke with him is I'm getting him an endorsement for KY. So
yeah, that he needs to have me on the show at some point. So yeah.
What the fuck are you gonna do with KY anyway, Cerebral?
He's got to grease his wheelchair tires. What do you think? That's multi-use lubricant.
Paul,
The
you're
wheels
not
on
gonna
the
take that,
ball
man.
go round and round.
Paul, I said don't take that from him, man.
He's gonna take it, and damn it, he's gonna like it.
Oh shit!
The only action he gets is for his KY in his tissue box. So you know, his two kids are looking older, so his wife hadn't touched him in years. And why should she? Yeah, so yeah.
Years? She's never touched me. I told you those ain't my kids.
Oh,
years means that she actually has touched
if you're paying to support them, they're yours. That's the way that works. So there you go.
Yeah, that's the way the government works it. Yeah.
No, it's called the definition of a sugar daddy.
Yeah, okay. You keep telling yourself that.
Well, if you feed a dog long enough, it starts looking like you, right? So I thought maybe it might work for the kids as well. So
Would you say you beat off your dog long enough? What?
well, I would beat you off, but it doesn't work, right? So
Oh Lord!
Wait. Okay. I can't walk, but I will say that part works just fine. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not like
we have no evidence of that. It's like the Loch Ness monster.
Hey,
we've heard of sightings.
Ask your wife. Ask your wife. Ask your wife.
It works just fine. He's pissed on his legs many times.
He took a half-court shot with that one.
Because I'm sitting down all the time. It's like a fountain up in here. It's like, yeah. So anyway, where were we?
We were trying to do the outros. I was talking to Bushido, and then the outro turned into I don't know what the hell it turned into.
A roasted session, I guess you said.
Yeah, roast. All right. Anyway, finish up, Bushido. It sounds like you're a busy man.
Oh yeah. I was saying just on Twitter and PlayStation, Xbox, same thing. Mr. Bushido N7. So
all right,
same profile picture, so you would know it's me.
Sounds good. We look forward to seeing you on some more podcasts, and we'll have you back here in the near future. I guarantee it.
Yeah, there might be a spot open where Wize Old Gamer's sitting after a while. So you know.
And the Wize Old Gamer, where can people catch up with you and your next antics?
I just want to say, Bushido, I liked your avatar. I said earlier that your avatar looks like it's a man with two penises. You didn't have to go delete it. It looked pretty good. Okay,
I noticed that too. I didn't. It's on the screen for the app for StreamYard, but it's not on YouTube. I'm like, I'm not gonna leave out and come back in just for that. I'm sorry.
I thought I got you in the fields. I'm like, damn, I didn't mean
No, please. You gotta really be digging into me to get my feels.
Well, I was gonna say, I've not even seen one penis, so you have two. That's pretty good, I guess. But yeah, you can find me.
You want him to give you the shocker? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Oh, he's such a shocker again.
Well, no comment. So yeah, you can catch me here every Tuesday evenings, and you can also catch me on Doomsayers Network with Mr. Bushido and his two erect penises. And also you can catch me on Doomsayers Den this Sunday, not Doomsday Saturday. It will be Order of Disorder. Sunday we're doing an
That's
episode
right.
for
That's right.
Halloween. Yeah. It's 10 Eastern, right? It's 9 Central.
I think it's 10 a.m. Right.
10 a.m. Eastern and 9 a.m. Central. So yeah, it is pretty raunchy. Like this is basically for all those sacrilegious bastards like me who don't go to church. You can come in and shoot the shit with us. So yeah, and of course you can follow me on Twitter with Wize Old Gamer with a Z. Also PlayStation and Xbox.
In the chat,
Now
we
you
got
know- now you know who to
one of
block.
your
Now you
friends
know who to
there.
block.
He's Ahmed Al Saeed. Hello, Ahmed. How are you?
What did
Can't
he
read
say?
that, but yeah, I think you probably can. I'm not sure.
Oh, hey, what does that mean? What is that? What the fuck?
Isn't that your language or your dialect? Or whatever?
Oh my god!
I don't fucking.
Wow.
What
the fuck? Hey, what the?
Oh man, that is absolutely something I would say.
Wow.
Oh man.
We put a fucking dot on our head. We don't wrap our head around it, okay?
Wow.
Oh man, that's Arabic, bro.
That's it.
Oh man.
I meant no offense, but I don't fucking know what that is. I do see a fire emoji and a black heart. That's all I
Oh my god.
You have to
Somebody save me.
You have to wrap your head really tight with a turban so that you can cut off blood supply to your brain so you can read that. That's why.
Okay. Got you. Fair enough. All right. And Cerebral Paul, where can people catch up with you? I think
as
English
was
is your
alluded to,
language
you
last I checked.
As was alluded to, you can find me tomorrow night with the backlog bastards hanging out. And then on Thursday, you can find me on 4GQ TV. I think we might. I don't know if we're doing a show this week because Carlo is out of town this week, so we may not be doing a show. Then the next time after that you can find me officially on a show is next Tuesday. So, and then of course I have my own channel, Cerebral Paul, on both Twitch and YouTube, and
you mean the one nobody's
Twitter.
watching?
Shut up. And they watch my channel more than they watch yours.
You're the one who said nobody's watching it. I was
yeah. And Mondays I am on the Xbox Ambassador channel, and I haven't decided what I'm going to stream for Halloween that day because that's the day of my stream. So we'll figure it out.
Peppa the Pig.
And on Twitter, I'm Cerebral Paul 1. And just as a heads up, I posted on my Twitter earlier today. Not this next weekend, not Halloween, but the weekend after, I will be doing a 25-hour fundraising stream for Extra Life for Kids on my Twitch channel only. So please go to my Twitch channel, Cerebral Paul, and stop by that weekend, hang out with me, possibly play some multiplayer games with me, because somebody's got to keep me up for, coming toward the end of that 25 hours is a long time. Yeah,
you got more fucking channels and shows than Pornhub. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought the KY would keep you up, but apparently that ain't working.
No, I like doing it.
His reaction.
I like doing the charity streams. But they are a lot of fun. But toward that last 4 hours or so is just killer. It really is.
Hey, all jokes aside,
especially if I start at 10 a.m., I end at 10 a.m. So that last bunch of hours is in the middle of the night. So I'm counting on the UK crowd to kind of keep me awake at that point.
Oh, you're fucked. They're broke.
Yeah.
Hey, but all jokes aside, what happened to that whole voting thing where we had to go in and vote in for you?
Thanks to your class not doing their job, they all get Fs. I did not win. Okay, just so you know, we are blaming your class for that. No, I didn't win. But I can't resubmit. So, and I will be, and hopefully I'll be a finalist again because I really that winning that set of prizes would really help me out a lot. So,
well, I got 20 of those bastards saying that they registered.
I went through almost the entire fucking thing free, and then got down to the bottom. Then it said, yeah, it was only open or something to residents of the U.S. I was like, well, that's fucked.
Some of the people in the UK and in Canada just put in their postal code and it still took it. I don't know if it counted
Yeah.
the vote or not, but it still took it.
Okay.
So
All right. And you guys know where to find me. You guys always in the gutter. Yes, Tuesday nights, right back here with these fantastic cast of characters and our amazing guests. If you didn't hear already, got a new panel member starting next week, Tuesday, November the 1st, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain. That is Darth Praxis will be joining us full time. So we're going to have a good time, good show, have some more special guests back in the near future. And if you also haven't heard the news, yes, I'll be heading back to Good Morning Xbox on November the 6th, Sunday morning. I'll be taking the show back over to my channel. And looking forward to a good time there and reuniting with the Good Morning Xbox panel. Always a good show, and hopefully we can keep that rolling as well. So
there
up
we
until
go.
then-
I'll do the last of my 25 hours. Good Morning Xbox. That should be fun.
there you go. All right, guys. Well, everybody to the chat. You guys were amazing. Our guest tonight, Mr. Bushido, knocked it out of the park. Fantastic guest. And our panel, well, you guys are always off the rocker. That's why I got you here. Back again next week. Until then, guys, take care, everybody. Game on. Have a happy and safe Halloween. And we'll see you next Tuesday, November the 1st.
Xbox got no games.
That's ooh.
Write a letter. Write a letter